Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. NETT Radio.
For no conversation, I came here for the relaxation. To take a little wine out behind you, with no strings attached, girl. I didn't make no reservation before I sneak up behind your bam bam, but I hope everything cool. Hey, girl, 'cause a dance is a place where everything is everything, and if you feel like you could wind up on anything, I wanna hold you like I hold a mic when I sing. Once you satisfied, there's no reason to pick off the wedding ring. This is the season for the whining. The only thing you could make me take off tonight is the shirt, 'cause all I wanna do is flirt with no strings attached. When I hold on, I go whine on that. That sweet walk don't bother me, then I make me guilty. I don't care who's watching me, what they see is what they see. This thing between you and me, then I make me guilty. Girl, if a man come up in your face and track you, saying that the first time he see you, he like you, tell that man is not a fool. No way, you ain't come here for that now. Next thing I'm right up behind your bum. See, when you look back, you realize you're ugly. You don't make no hasty decision. Why? 'Cause a dance is a place where everything is everything, and if you feel like you could wind up on anything, I wanna hold you like I hold a mic when I sing. Once you satisfied, there's no reason to take off the wedding ring. This is the season for the whining. The only thing you could make me take off tonight is the shirt, 'cause all I wanna do is flirt with no strings attached. When I hold on, I go whine on that. That sweet walk don't bother me, then I make me guilty. I don't care And if you feel like you could wind up on anything, I wanna hold you like I hold the mic when I sing. Once you satisfied, there's no reason to take off the wedding ring. This is the season for the winding. The only thing you could make me take off the night is my shirt. Cause all I wanna do is flirt with no strings attached. When I hold on, I can wine on that. That sweet fuck don't bother me. You not make me guilty. I don't care who's watching me. What they see is what they see. This thing between you and me, and you not make me guilty.
No strings attached. I can wine on that. Don't bother me.
Wake up, rise up. It's the Net Radio Breakfast Show. Bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
Yeah, a dance is a place where all different kinds of things happen. But most of all, you know what? A dance is a place where you have a lot of good times. And of course, we are going to promise you a good time here, right here on New Era TT Radio. Good morning, everybody. Trinidad and Tobago, good morning. Neighbors in the Caribbean, good morning. Our friends who are streaming all around the globe. www.people, yeah. Thank you so much for being with us here on this beautiful Wednesday morning, this hump day. We're glad to be in this space with you. So much thanks as always to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. And everything that we do, dear God, not some, everything. Let it be a blessing on to you. Sir Charles, that is me. Happy am I to be in this space, everybody, as we welcome you to your midweek. Yeah, get up and go. This is your breakfast show.
Get up, it's the time to start the day. The breakfast show is here, we bring in the soca way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Morocco's Bay to the Savannah line. Let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo!
Ooh, it's hump day. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to everybody logged on. And thank you so much for being here on the net. It's the RTT Radio, Net Radio. Thank you, wherever you are coming in from. Thanks for showing up. And of course, when it comes to showing up, let me say thanks to Wendell, who has shown up very early as always. And of course, Richard, who will join us at some point in time. Just can't seem to get up early these days. But yeah, Wendell, how are you doing?
Me, I'm doing great. Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It was a rainy morning. I don't know, it's cleared up. In the west, it's not raining, but in the east, it was, because I'm in the west this morning.
Yeah.
But it was raining when I left Arima this morning, between 4:30.
You got a heavy shower?
Not heavy, but it was raining, consistent rain, Okay. But it's not raining in Port of Spain, So hopefully it'll be a nice day.
Here, but nothing to talk about.
But
Hopefully, I bet it's proud today.
I don't know if people seeing what's happening around the globe in terms of a heat wave in Europe. They're experiencing some extreme hot weather. As a matter of fact, it's been the hottest it has ever been. 95 degrees Fahrenheit. You know how hot that is, Sir Charles, in London?
Wow.
95 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, that.
They recorded that weather yesterday. It's extremely hot in Europe, people. So I don't know if it's a temporary thing. But I mean, here in Trinidad, ain't much different, eh? I mean, we get a little sprinkled yesterday and today, but it's been very hot too.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
in some parts of the US, over the weekend, they had a lot of rain,
In
because
New
like
York, you mean? In New
yeah,
York, I
New
saw
York and
they had a lot
Brooklyn,
of rain.
and
Yeah.
somebody else was somewhere else and told me since it rained like since Friday all throughout the weekend.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I
it's
said that's
been
how all
very
is dead. When all they getting rain, all they getting plenty. Snow, plenty. When it's heat, plenty.
yeah. It's kind of funny, but in Europe, I know it's been very hot. It's they've been recording very hot weather. So anyway, let me get my birthdays out of the way quickly. Nadel Archie, a young guy, he works at the Port of Spain Corporation. Jamila, hey, today's Jamila birthday, my neighbor. I wonder if she's jogging this morning. Happy birthday, Jamila, from your darling Ronald and your daughters, and of course, from us, your neighbors, and us here at the breakfast show.
The way that you said it, I feel all ears come out to watch Jamila jog,
She
Yeah,
jogged right in front
I
of
feel
me.
Jamila singing like a rat.
Jamiza Al-Razi Abbott. That's what I call you. Happy birthday, Jamila. I know she's listening. Happy birthday to Mayor of San Fernando, Robert Paris. Hey, today Robert celebrating his birthday, man. Happy birthday, Robert. Hope you have a fantastic day. I have a theory about Robert. Robert is one of the few people I think who has made it to the top through sheer dedication and hard work. I don't know that Robert rubbed shoulders with anybody or me, lick this or lick that or anybody.
He did
I
it.
think he genuinely made it to be mayor of San Fernando through his hard work and dedication. And I always watch that and admire him for that. Robert, well done. Well done. Very well done. And I hope you have a happy birthday. Lennox Sandy, he's down there in Cocorite. Donna Marks, Diane Deshanta, and Saida Mohammed, they are all celebrating birthdays today. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Right?
I only have one birthday greeting today, and of course, that is a lady by the name of Natalie Peters. She's out there somewhere in Correct. So, if you all run across that individual, tell us the child said, "Happy birthday."
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
she's all right.
Yeah. People are sending Eid greetings. Is that Eid? Where is Eid? We have a holiday coming up. We have Indian arrival day. It's Saturday. Is there Eid holiday?
No, we have a holiday coming up just some man. I saw that
Where
around
is
the
Eid?
4th or something like that.
What the hell? I missed that.
Yeah, around the
That's all.
4th. We have 4th of June, Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi is the 4th of June.
Thursday. Yeah,
That's next week Thursday.
yeah.
Oh.
But
Well,
that's
I didn't even know that. And Labor Day is the 19th of June.
yeah, Labor Day is
That's
the
a
19th.
Friday.
Yeah,
Indian arrival day is Saturday.
yeah.
Ilarizan, when is Eid? Eid ul Adha. Okay, all right. Thanks for that. Thanks for that correction. All right. I did see an article asking for Eid ul Adha to be a holiday. I did see that in today's papers. Thanks, Ilarizan. It's Eid ul Adha. All right. Thank you. Right. So there is a story about it. Azza renews call as Muslims take time off for observances. So today is Eid ul Adha and they're asking for a public holiday. Thank you very much for the information.
That is who's asking for holiday?
Azra for Eid ul Adha.
Okay.
Eid al Fitr is already a holiday, but they're
Oh.
asking for a holiday for Eid ul Adha.
Okay. I saw
And I
somebody
see
else was
the
asking for
Orishas.
holiday. The Orishas.
Yeah, the Orisha is also asking for a public holiday. They did say, well, it's in today's papers too.
Yeah, I think they had put up a date also.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that they were looking at.
man, Richard and I, well, I don't know if Sir Charles will join us on this breakfast show. We are all for public holidays. Everybody need a holiday. We are all in favor of it. We will never go against anyone who wants a public holiday.
Yeah, most people say they are not saying anything these days.
Well, they need a holiday too. Everybody need a holiday. I'm happy for that. I don't want to trivialize the subject here, people, but I am not. I don't have a problem in public holidays. None. 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 Yeah. All right. So those are the greetings. Of course, we have a guest today. We have Gary Griffith. I really want to drill down into the police service today under Gary Griffith. He better come well. He's the only former commissioner, as I say, who willing to give interviews.
Could this be open from?
Yeah. Oh, look, I've now seen a whole bunch of Muslims. Like the mosque now finished. I have a mosque literally stone's throw away from me here in the menu. So like they now finish prayers. So they now leave.
You have everything in your side. You have a supermarket.
St. James, you know.
You have St. James. Oh, I thought you was
St. James have everything, you know.
Yeah, St. James have everything. The only thing only don't have again is the bank.
Yeah, well, we have one Woodbrook Place and we have Long Circular Mall, if you consider that St. James. We still have 2 banks. But we have, yeah, you're right, we've run out of banks on the main. But we have everything on the main road, and some of the things we have in St. James are, in fact, the first. The Subway, I think, is the first. The KFC is the first. The Royal Castle, I think, is the first. That mosque may actually be one of the first we have. The mandir, the mosque. Because we have a mandir too, in Ethel Street, we have a Hindu mandir. And of course, we have the big Catholic Church, St. Mary's. We have St. Agnes Anglican Church. We have Pentecostal churches. We have Baptist Church. We have everything in St. We have the Nazarene Church, where I attended as a boy. You know? We have everything in St. James, Sir Charles.
Yes.
And some of the best people who, I always say there are 2 types of people who from St. James and people who wish they were from St. James. You know? So,
yeah. Anyhow, all right, well, with all of that, let me get into good news before.
Yeah. Let me run out.
Just get haywire up inside of here.
Good news on NETT Radio, bringing you positive stories of innovation and environmental change around the world. Plastic pollution has become one of the biggest environmental challenges facing the planet today. From rivers to coastlines, millions of tons of waste continue to impact marine life and ecosystems every year. But organizations like the Ocean Cleanup are working to change that story. Founded in the Netherlands, the Ocean Cleanup develops large-scale systems designed to remove plastic waste from oceans and rivers before it spreads further into the environment. Using advanced engineering and innovative collection technology, the organization has already removed significant amounts of debris from waterways around the world. The work is not easy. Ocean currents, weather conditions, and the sheer scale of pollution all present major challenges. But volunteers, engineers, and environmental teams continue working toward cleaner waterways and healthier ecosystems. The impact goes beyond just removing plastic. Cleaner rivers and oceans help protect marine life, improve coastal environments, and raise awareness. Communities around the world are also becoming more involved through beach cleanups and recycling efforts. And environmental education, innovation, and teamwork can help address the world's biggest problems. Stories like these show that innovation and teamwork can help address even the world's biggest environmental problems. And organizations like the Ocean Cleanup continue to remind people everywhere that protecting the planet is a responsibility shared by all of us. If you didn't know, now you know. And that is good news on NETT Radio. Follow us on social media. For more great content, leave a comment below.
Take care of the environment. Mother Earth. She's crying out for help.
Mother Earth just cry. And there's a tune like that?
Yeah, of course. That's a big song.
Yeah. Who sang that?
Baron.
It's Baron.
Baron.
Yeah. That's a nice song though.
Yeah. And let me second morning to the Baron because he's facing some challenges right now.
Yeah, quite a bit of our artists actually facing some challenge as they get older, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but Oscar B is also there. I think they have a fundraiser coming up for Oscar B also.
Yeah, I saw that.
He had a stroke.
Yeah. Oscar's a nice guy. Very friendly, approachable guy.
Good morning, Richard.
Yeah, good morning, guys. And good
You
morning,
alright?
Tom. Me, I was just, computer issues this morning. I came in when you were talking about the Corpus Christi, but I couldn't get on because none of my camera and my sound just wasn't working. So I had to, you had to restart and the usual reboot.
Yeah.
Anyway, when everything else fails, reboot.
Well, I've been trying that with a computer in my office until finally technician came yesterday and said that gone through. So I have all the information on my computer is just there. I cannot get it. I cannot get access to it. I can't do nothing. So I brought down my laptop to try to get, because I have some of the things on my laptop that I can use. And guess what I did? I started opening up things, and I opened up this speech that I made a few years ago for one Richard Ragubasing. And I read that speech, Richard, and I felt really good reading the speech I made for you,
You made a speech for Richard?
Yes. When a few years ago, when at a function, I had to do a speech. And I did a speech on Richard on our friendship and on our relationship over the years. And I'm reading this thing and laughing this morning. Oh, gosh. Richard Ragubasing, eh? Ah, Lord. If people only know it.
Hey, guys, let me tell you something. Yesterday, I went to the Port Spring General Hospital. I went to clinic. I always have these bad stories at clinic. The way that the place is. Well, there seems to be a transformation taking place right now. So whether it be, I suppose it will span different governments, right? The last government and this government. So congratulations to you guys. Wendell, they have opened up the new, what they call it, the surgical outpatient clinics. And it is really a wonderful experience now to go to the clinics. You get in
mean in St. James here?
In Port of Spain.
In Port of Spain, okay.
Port of Spain General. Yeah.
All right.
So it is in the area where closer to Belmont side, where the old taxi stand was there.
Yeah.
They have this building. I think that is where the new block is going to be. There about 14 or 15 story building that they're putting up there. And they're waiting to finish populate. But they opened the surgical clinic. I think they opened it last week or something like that. And it is really a wonderful experience now with the clinic. You have proper chairs to sit down on. The place is air conditioned. They have a system where, like the banks now, you get a number.
Okay.
You sit down, they call your number, you go on you register, you go back and sit down, they call your name. You go to the different clinics. All the doctors now have their personal cubicles to see about you.
That's good news.
Yes, and you get in there, and it's screens, beds, computers. Your information is there. So they and best of all, the bathrooms. I went back with everything now. And even in that area now, there's a cafeteria area, but they don't have like a vendor probably for the cafeteria as yet. But at least the area is there where you can sit if you walk with your breakfast and stuff. You can go in the little cafeteria area, the chairs. It have the PA system in the roof and everything. So if they call you, you will hear. You won't miss your appointment and stuff. It was a truly delightful experience yesterday.
Very good to hear. Very good.
So congratulations to them.
Good news. That's like good news part too.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. That was an extension of the good news. I had to share that. Yeah.
Congrats to the
I went
yes, in terms of rolling it out.
It's ready as a fast crack, and I mean it's the way it's painted and the colors, everything is basically white and sort of cream and real pastel colors and stuff. It's really nice.
Yeah. Because I see them also in Arima, and you all would have sent. Was it you that sent it to me, Sir Charles? Or it was Zena that they have now the accident emergency where you would usually go, which is adjunct to the major Arima General Hospital. Apparently, that's now only for minor issues, like if you need urgent care or, small issues. Any issues like that you would have usually gone there for, like if you had problems breathing or if you think you're getting some sort of heart trouble and stuff, you start to go there. No, that kind of emergency is now shifted to the main hospital. So the main hospital now deals with all of those kinds of urgent care cases. You have to go to the main Arima General Hospital itself. But that other one, where you would usually go, is now for minor issues, whatever issues. You have a cut, whatever, that does not necessarily need hospital care, or you have to use more of the resources. So it's good to see that they're streamlining it and stuff. And that place they did it nicely, so it's pretty comfortable and very cold. And people usually, now you can't really accompany the patient unless the patient really insists and say, no, somebody has to come with me. So there's a waiting area for you waiting on patients who you brought, basically. So it's good to see that, stuff is happening,
True. I mean, building on what was there before. Well done.
So it's good to see that it seems to be streamlining, because I used to be always wondering why you can't go into the Arima General Hospital itself. Why you can't go into the hospital itself. It was just a little puzzle. How do you get in there? Because sometimes when people go to Arima, they send them Mount Hope. And then for some, they send them Arima. So it's like, what's the reasoning? So it was a little inconsistent. But I think with Port of Spain hopefully coming on board with that new building that you referenced, Sir Charles, and so a lot of the weight that Mount Hope has been carrying because of that will shift back to Port of Spain. Hopefully they roll out Arima more and Grandy more, because Grandy also has a huge new wing too. That's very impressive. That hopefully if all of these units start to function fully, it means the rest of the system gets eased. From people who have to go to Mount Hope specifically, because Mount Hope carries a lot of the load.
It does.
All right, so let's greet the folks in the chat. Sir Charles, put on your mic, let me hear.
What is that?
Oh, there's a noise coming through from by you.
Okay.
Whenever you put on your mic, like a vacuum cleaner working.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Robert Allen came in first this morning at 12 midnight or 12 a.m. or 12. Felix Kazo, good morning. Good Wednesday morning to the breakfast show. Odell Guy, Ava Smith. What did she say? Okay. Kenny and Harlem, Pamela O'Connor, Diane Payne, manager, that's Norris Ferguson. See him leaving early this morning to go in the gym, man. Good Margaret Thomas, Trinman, hump carefully today, guys, don't forget. Michael Cadet, Boy Bidesi from DB, Eunice Dublin, Apollina's, Marlon Motley says happy hump day. Carol Guevara also says the same. Maria Celia, Michael Eastman, Suzanne Jessup, and that's Suzanne, Suzette, Corinne, Mrs. Gemma, Maria S, Maria H, all of them. I'm saying good morning. Empress Reyes Lal, Debbie Modeste, Garvin Frank from Powder Magazine, Erica Charles, Valerie Mendoza, Melchizedek, Ian Stewart, Casey Senghor, Trinidad Margot says with all its problem.
Oh, sorry.
What is that? Was robbed on Charlotte Street last week of my necklace. Wow. Okay, sorry to hear that, Trinidad Margot. You need to be extremely careful in Port of Spain. Trust me. Well, in any crowded area, actually. Flirt, no strings attached. What's that from Empress Rezal? We're flirting in there.
That is a happy song.
Oh, that's the name. That was the name of the song?
Flirt was the name of it.
Oh, okay. Cheryl Maraj, Alistair Hart, Carla Hercules, Lester Cragwell, Katian Charles, special morning to Arlene and Stephen, Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona, Kurt Hope, good morning from Piaco. Are you coming or are you leaving? I guess you're coming. Welcome back. Cheryl Maraj, good morning, Wendell, my favorite host. I get out of my area, just so. What the jail is this? And Cheryl, I think you're from Arriva. Must check, my man. It's wet in Piaco, she said. Bernadette and Nelicia Yates. Ilarizan said today is Il Ul Ada. Thank you. It's Bakra Eid. Anne Noel, good morning to the breakfast crew and all from listening from Oshawa, Ontario. That's a new name, eh? We normally have from Oshawa. Trini Mill Kitchen, eh? Prabha Ramdial, morning all. David McCarthy. Alice Sahad Wendell, all holidays should be on a Monday or a Friday. Sankofa says bountiful graces. LG songs like Shagwanas. Hey, not leave St. James alone, eh? Except Linda's. Well, the Linda's we had closed down. We had a Linda's. Fran Romani, good morning, everyone. Margarita Chow, Susie B, Beauty Culture. Richard Cheryl is saying good morning, a special good morning to you.
Good morning, Cheryl.
All right. Helene Houghton. That may have been Helen Houghton, you know. I don't know where the E came in from. Morning, everyone. Alistair Hart, Brother Resistance, also has a Mother Earth song, Sir Charles.
Yes, he does. Yes.
Beauty Culture said, is the new hospital open? Great. Rena Jennings, that process in the hospital was in the making for over a year. Yeah, for sure. Eh? Stellar Services, good morning. Ron DeSantis, good morning. Wendell, your ears still ringing? Some UNC or PNM sycophants currently spreading word you on the take of Miss Amin. Or you come back with that? Joyce Phillip, I read it for spite.
Yeah, it's not good that way.
Yeah, I want people to understand how ridiculous it is. Say what? I'd rather be on the take for nothing for Khadija Amin. Trust me. She'll get my advice for free. Joyce Phillip, Chidi Gets Fit, Julia Samantha, Alistair Hart, Primary and Secondary Care, David McCarthy. Richard, are you going to have any plays in Queen's Hall anytime?
Actually, we are hoping to come to Queen's Hall, I think in June, sometime in June, with Scandal and Cedars. I think maybe it's halfway through June until the latter half of June.
All right. Dean Allen says, hi, everyone. Great news. Not to be cynical, a good facility manager has to be hired to maintain good infrastructure and a good... Yeah, that's our problem here, Dean, unfortunately. Even when the people good, somewhere along the line before long on the job. Colton Finch, good morning. Carl Jack, blessed morning to all. Oh, really? But I thought PNM did nothing. No, it's credit to the PNM and for building it and the UNC for opening it, I guess. Sankofa said thank you, Dr. Rowley and Mr. Dayal Singh for the improvement in the health system. I'm reading all the politics this morning. Poll question, can you have a respectful relationship with someone of a different political view? Yeah. But you'll try one day. Huh?
Of course you can.
Yeah, that Ron DeSantis asking that. But we're not asking that today. But we'll ask that one of these days, Ron.
Yeah. You can, but yeah.
Yeah. Cheryl Henry says, good morning. I want to see if Gary would help me win a pick 2 this week, as the local government minister did last week. David McCarthy says, thank you, Richard. And Robert Taylor says, good morning, guys. Those are the greetings on the chat.
Okay, so are you still hearing the vacuum cleaner?
Every now and then. As soon as you put on your mic, you hear a noise. And then
no, I hear it now.
No.
Oh, no. Okay. You have the man in heat. You have the man in heat.
So me? It's Miss Logier, not me. It's Miss Logier.
Let me say good morning to CJ out there in New York. Good to know that CJ is back in her space this morning. Yes. Also to Miss St. Augustine, she was up very early this morning and sent a special greeting for you two guys. Every day she makes sure she sends a voice note for you two guys, right? So, Mr. Augustine, good morning. Mr. Billy out there in Powder Magazine, Archbishop Ashton Clark, good morning. Peter Wilson, nice St. James people down by Wendell.
You know, Sir Charles, as you keep saying about calling this Peter Wilson from St. James, and I say, how I don't know that person?
Yeah.
Then I went on, I saw a comment somewhere, and I clicked on it, and I said, I know him. I know the person. Morning, I never knew your name, and I never even knew your surname. but I knew your whole family, and you've always been supportive of me when I was representative for the area. So good morning, Mr. Wilson.
Yeah, hello, Peter. Good morning, Peter.
Yeah.
Also, good morning to Fifi in Ethiopia, to Frank out there in Aruka, Suzanne up very early this morning. Suzanne, good morning to you. Rena Budo Jennings, good morning to you. Brenda and Pinal, Zena and the Powder Puff Girls, Zena is saying hump, hump, hump. All right. And also, good morning to Cyrilia. Good morning to you, Cyril, keeping it real. Mr. Beeps out there in Pity Valley. And of course, to my girl, Pauline. Yeah, good morning to everybody. Good morning to the Gael people. When I hear say anything, so I'm supposing we are there.
Yeah, no, we on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good morning to all your folks on Gael Caribbean TV. We are going for that break at 24 minutes before the hour of 7 o'clock. Stay with us because it is the breakfast show.
It's the grand clearance sale at Fats International Styles. Everything must go. All clothing, only $100. Sneakers, just $200. Yes, you heard right. Massive deals, unbeatable prices while stocks last. Visit Fats International Styles Arima opposite Castro's restaurant. Don't miss your chance to grab the hottest styles at crazy clearance prices. Hurry in today because once it's gone, it's gone.
Are you taking care of your sexual health and overall well-being? At Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, we believe your confidence, wellness, and intimacy matter. Visit us at our convenient locations: 10 Carmody Street, St. Augustine, Edinburgh, Chaguanas, Shops of Day Bay, 95 Circular Road, Vista Bella, Docks Ranch Lightpole 51, SS Aaron Road, Penal, and Metro Hotel, Suite 1, Number 2, Knoll Street North, Couva. From relaxing massage services to professional guidance on sexual wellness, we are here to support you every step of the way. Consult with renowned sexologist, Dr. Raj Ramnanan, for expert advice tailored to your needs. Take the first step toward a healthier, more confident you. Call 285-9739 or 645-4543 to book your appointment today. Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, where wellness meets confidence.
Scandal in Cipriani College! We are back! The box office smash! Scandal in Citrus is back! We are back because you demanded it for 3 nights only. Friday the 29th and Saturday the 30th of May at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 31st at 6:30 p.m. Tickets available now at usual outlets and online. Scandal in Citrus! We are back at Cipriani College. See it again or see it for the first time. Don't miss it!
Scandal in Citrus.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Two Fat Fellas celebrates its final performance in San Fernando, Naparima Bowl.
One night, one show, Saturday, May 30th, night of the holiday.
Two Fat Fellas stars, Cecilia, Kenny, Kevon, Zachary, Raisha, and Rody.
The ridiculously funny comedy is at Naparima Bowl for one final night.
Tickets available at Dormont Shoe Store along Circular Mall, Anthony's Floral Val Park, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, C3 Center, Athletes by the Park, Southern Food Basket, Coffee Street, and Point Fortin. Naparima Bowl box office opens on Thursday the 28th of May. Also online at islandtickets.com. For more info, text or call 683-0356 or 683-4843.
Check out our early bird special online at Island E-Tickets. Two Fat Fellas.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
All right. So it is, in fact, Helene. All right. It's French. Thanks for that correction, Miss Houghton. So it is Helene Houghton, not Helen. Right? Thanks for the correction. What else did I miss? All right. So we could go straight into the newspapers today.
The camera is very clear today, Wendell, for some reason.
Maybe it's because of where I am and because I changed my background.
Yeah, maybe it's the lighting where you are or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the lighting is better in St. James than it is in Arima.
Yeah.
You know? It's even better in a hotel room, but
but that have nothing to do with the lighting.
I'll tell you soon enough. 4 more charges for Kaia. That's the headline. No, let me tell you something. I ain't laughing off this thing now, because it's. If all you never find out what the police could do, all you go find out now, Okay? If all you never knew what the police could do, all you go find out now. 4 more charges for Kaia. Sealy facing firearm ammunition offenses after Joshua Samaroo killing. Because they'd forget that. They'd forget that they can't charge her for gun and not ammunition. So they add it in now. Oh, Lord. Sweetness.
It wasn't so serious. It's farcical almost.
Yeah. Now I'm telling you, people, all they will find out what the police could do. Trust me. I found out already. All they go find out now. Plenty of people go find out. And pray that you never personally find out. That's all I can tell you. Stepdad in court charged with Angelo's murder. That's also trending in the front page. Government extends landlord tax deadline. Richard, maybe we should try back Minister Tanko again one day.
Ask him if you want to talk about it.
Yeah,
because it's 2.5% and 3.5% if you're over $20,000. But you also have to, the landlord regulations are a little complicated, I find. And you also have a health surcharge and stuff you have to pay if you weren't paying health surcharge and all that in it.
Yeah.
And I felt with all due respect, Minister Tanko, I think it's a little too bureaucratic, since a lot of landlords are in fact older people.
Yeah.
Who are in fact using their premises to earn a little income. Now, of course, that's a section of the landlords in the country. Of course, you have realty divisions that are landlords that are managing several properties and stuff like that. You have people who have invested in properties who are landlords. Let's call them mega landlords. And even though if you're under 2,000, maybe you're paying about $3,000 a year or something. If it is that you are a landlord for under $20,000 in that bracket, and I maintain it is by far simpler, and you're going to get more compliance, and it's easier. Anytime you make regulations too bureaucratic, people, one, try to avoid, even though I saw Minister Tanton saying he's so glad to see people complying. There are people who are going to try and avoid it because people hate paperwork. And that's a fundamental thing. If you have been in the public sector for a while, you know people hate paperwork. They hate the bureaucracy. And if you're sensitive to that, you make things as simple as possible for people to comply. That's not robot science. That's just how human beings are. They will comply the easier it is to comply, right? From the time you give them things to do quarterly, it becomes a headache. Easier to issue a landlord certificate on the issuance of an annual payment that you could do online, or you could go to wherever and pay. Whatever that annual fee is, now roughly people under 20,000 might be paying $3,000 to $4,000 a year on average from the different quarters. I'm trying to work it out mathematically. If you put a flat fee, which is what I've said before, of $5,000, or even if you want to say $3,000 on landlords who have 2 properties and less, just making it simple. 5 properties and less, you pay $3,000 a year. As a landlord, you get a landlord certificate, your annual certificate. If a tenant is coming to rent from you, Wendell, they could say, can I see your landlord certificate? And you could say, here it is, right?
Yeah.
So they know you're a valid landlord. and it should be connected to legislation on the duties of landlords and tenants. And if you are above that threshold, then the fee could be a flat $7,000 a year. But you get a landlord certificate, that's it.
Yes,
so every year you renew your annual landlord certificate. It makes it easier. You're probably going to get more money and you're going to get more complying. When you start to make things difficult because it's fueled with ego and I can do this and I can do that and put health surcharge, and because public servants love themselves and love to say, yeah, we can include this and include that. I know them. I know them. So common senses go out the window when they sit down in that conference room. Somebody has to be the adult in the room and say, hey, let's make it simple. This is our citizens. You don't want them to have this headache. Let's make it easy. And what I'm suggesting is easier. You're going to get more complying and people will easier. And and it feeds into tenants being able to check that a landlord is valid. Yeah. You can say, can I see a landlord certificate?
Yeah.
That's just me.
Somebody send a copy of this program to Minister Tanku, please.
No, that's it. I understand the public sector,
Yes,
I was in
yes. For sure. Cops warn of SOE protest rules. That's also trending in the Express. Penny wants a stronger PCA. PM shares old news clip on Beckles' relatives. Listen, I'm gonna ask Gary a question today. I hope be prepared for it, because I tell all of these releases. Okay. Angelo's stepdad appears in court. Jewelry bandits rob man and granny. Kissed without permission. Now, this story started to trend yesterday. A police officer, a police constable, has been granted bail in the sum of $200,000 after appearing before Port of Spain court charged with indecent assault. He decided to kiss allegedly to kiss another policewoman without her consent in police admin of all places. Of course, the PSB got involved. Woo, the PSB do something finally. And they charge him. You understand? The PSB finally do something. The Professional Standards Bureau of the Police Service finally do something.
But they'll behave themselves.
They lock up one of their own. Finally!
Why could just go and kiss the woman on her lips just so?
Whatever, if he do that, it's good for him. But that police officer's doing worse. Worse than that. And the PSB ain't taking nobody off.
Face off, like all these damn wrestlers is doing. Or not wrestlers, those boxers, and you see something.
Yeah. Right up in one another face and give them a kiss. Yeah. But
it's weird that you would just kiss a colleague at work, and it's highly inappropriate.
Mad, police is doing what they want, Richard. That's another example. Police doing what they want, even with one another.
About it because it's before the court system now, but so we shouldn't really talk about it. But I mean, he's innocent until proven guilty. Let's put it that way. But we could talk generally about kissing your colleagues. You can't go around just kissing your colleagues just like that.
You ever kiss a colleague of yours?
Yeah, I mean, on the cheek.
Yes, that's it.
On the cheek, congrats. Or
I never ever kiss a colleague of mine.
Yeah, congrats. That sort of thing. Happy birthday, but happy birthday, just give a hug or something like that. But kiss on lips. Is kiss on lips?
Charles, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You ever kiss a colleague of yours?
No, I don't.
From the time you hear that's it. From the time you go from the time you have to think about it, so Charles.
I was close, but I can't recall.
I don't know. I must get Gail and a happy birthday kiss or something. I'm not sure.
Don't go there because all the came very close. I interrupted it several times. I had gone to the bathroom, and when I coming back, I quiet and I say, "What going on in the kitchen there?" When I come, everybody laughing. So I don't know.
Look how things that's coming out there.
But look at that. That's it for the Express. I'm done.
This is a joke.
But PSB, nice to see you all working to deal with errand police officers. Yeah, very nice.
Hopefully, that the PCA didn't have to investigate that. We rather be guys.
You're showing that the PCA. It did not bypass me.
Yes,
right.
yes. Slow and get my push.
Yeah. So anyway, let me get oh God, already making my eyes watering a lot. The Trinidad
get my push. That's what they are.
I tell you, we are the only person that have the ability to make serious news into a joke.
Anyway, the man is innocent until proven guilty.
Yes, he is. But they name him to it. They put his name here, but they name the officer who he kissed.
Well, yeah, but they don't usually name victims, though.
But she not child. She is not a child.
Yeah, but I mean, even in like cases of indecent assault, they don't really name the victims, and it's an indecent assault charger.
Okay, you mean it's a sexual offense?
It would come under that, so they wouldn't name the victim.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah. 4 more charges. This is, by the way, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian for today. Kaia Sealy. 4 more charges for Kaia Sealy, Joshua Samaroo's partner, now accused of gun and ammo offenses. I would love to see how that extradition goes. PM posts praise and blessings for law enforcement officers. 4 more charges for Kaia Sealy. Okay, just repetition. Samaroo's dad says Sealy, a good woman, calls for resignation of officials. So that whole issue of what the family says is going back and forth, and in that meandering gray area that is a little confusing. But I'm reading what I see here today. Samaroo's dad says Sealy, a good woman, calls for resignation of officials. And of course, the Prime Minister posting praise and blessings for law enforcement officers. I suppose it's kind of connected to the protest too, in a kind of way. Even though the state is kind of out of this, it's really, criminal proceedings to government officials should kind of keep out. But
well, you should read. If you see the Express editorial today, folks, you all should get it and read it.
Yeah, but if the state feels impassioned enough, as the Prime Minister, she could speak, because the police didn't elect you, ma'am. It's a citizen.
Yep.
Well, the police are citizens, so they did elect you in a kind of way, but the institution did not elect you.
Yeah.
So anyway, fire destroys abandoned St. Margaret's Village building. Opposition slams police handling of Sealy Samaroo matter. I heard that, as some advice to the PNL, I kind of heard some of the Marvin Gonzalez interview. I didn't hear a lot of it. Mm-hmm. But some advice to the PNL. If you intend to get back to power in 4 years, because it's now 4 years, zone in on what you're going to do that's different. And saying that you'll bring back CPEP is not a great arguing point. I think that was said sometime. Am I wrong?
With Marvin?
Not Marvin. I think the opposition leader maybe said something like that.
Okay, I didn't hear.
I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody told me that, so I'm just repeating hearsay. But have a PR campaign that focuses on things that you will change, that you think will accrue you votes. For example, let's look at the landlord thing. Like what I'm saying, you're going to simplify it, or you're going to make it whatever your point of view is on that. Articulate why landlords should vote for you in 4 years, or why people who are dealing with the police issues, why they should deal with you in 4 years. Zone in on things like that. If you want to be to raise the profile, because the profile is a little low, I find. Mm-hmm. Even though they're having these press conferences from time to time, but you're not, it's not clear. The messaging is not clear. Let me put it that way.
Maybe a lot of people are like me, Richard. They don't want to hear certain former people.
Maybe but the party still has to reformat itself or well, I don't know if it's to reinvent. Well, maybe it's to reinvent because you have new leadership in a certain direction. In terms of whatever your messaging is, and see if the population will buy that messaging 4 years from now. Because 4 years is a lot of time for the UNC to do a lot of good.
To fix the mistakes.
They have a lot of time to recover from a lot of the stuff that people may have been criticizing them for. And if they do a lot of good in the 4 years, that let's say, gets the economy back on track and stuff like that, you'll have a problem as that opposition party. But anyway, but I just find the messaging is not clear. That's what I would have brought up with Marvin yesterday, but of course, I was busy yesterday. The BC joins Agostini board. Quarry Group has questions for ministry. Government issues holdover letters to 25 mineral operators. Tourism sector must act faster, says stakeholder. And auto mechanic announces partnership with MIC. Evelyn wins 100 meters at enhanced games to earn $250,000. 4 more charges. Well, I read that already. Who did Joshua the Silva offend? And Alzari Joseph returns. It hurts having to watch on TV. And one more sports news. Mendes de Silva to lead Sri Lanka teams on Caribbean tour. So that's just some of the news trending in the Trinidad and Tobago Garden for this morning. Wednesday, midweek.
Yeah, where we are running really late. So let's do our, did you know?
Welcome to St. James, Trinidad, a community rich in history and cultural heritage. This area, once known as Cooley Town, holds a significant place in the story of Trinidad and Tobago's development. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, thousands of East Indian indentured laborers were brought to Trinidad to work on plantations after the abolition of slavery. These laborers faced harsh conditions but persevered, establishing vibrant communities such as Cooley Town in St. James. Today, the legacy of these laborers is evident in the rich cultural tapestry of St. James. The East Indian community has significantly influenced Trinidadian culture, bringing traditions such as Hussein, a religious procession commemorating the martyrdom of Hussein ibn Ali, which has become a vital part of the local cultural landscape. Hussein is a vivid display of the East Indian community's resilience and cultural pride. This festival, marked by colorful processions and communal gatherings, is a testament to the enduring spirit of the community. When Trinidad and Tobago gained independence in 1962, Dr. Eric Williams, the nation's first prime minister, made a significant move by banning the use of the term coolie. This decision was aimed at promoting unity and respect among all citizens, recognizing the contributions of the East Indian community while rejecting the derogatory connotations of the term. Today, the term coolie is no longer in official use, but the legacy of the East Indian laborers lives on. Their contributions have been integral to the nation's development, from the oil fields to the sugar plantations, factories, and offices. As we reflect on the history of Cooley Town and honor the contributions of the East Indian community, we celebrate a Trinidad and Tobago that is united, diverse, and vibrant. The story of Cooley Town is a reminder of the strength and resilience of all who have contributed to the rich cultural mosaic of our nation.
I know.
And it just so happens you were talking about St. James today.
Yes, St. James was known as Cooley Town. I mean, that's the history. That's part of the history. You know.
Well, I suppose maybe we can take some calls at this point. I don't know if you want to just delay news by about 3 minutes, Charles, just to accommodate some calls. Because people get annoyed with us and start to dictate how we run the show when we don't take calls.
They're going to do it anyway.
I think for that headache this morning.
They're going to do it anyway. We can go and call now.
Well, we can take 1131529951556. Give us a call. No, right? And I'll put up the poll for you.
Yeah, so 2811315, 2811315. We're taking your calls at this point to see if we're delaying the news a little bit. Because we can, we delay the news a little bit so that we can take some of your calls. 281-1315, 281-1315.
One of those mornings where we just had a lot of things to talk about,
Yeah. We have so much opinions when we're ready.
You're telling me?
And after 9 o'clock, I have none.
You learned that. All that, Richard, all of that in my speech. All of that was in my speech. I said, Richard, teach me how to end everything at 9. When 9 is done, that's it.
So that might be a buzz sitting on budget, which I haven't done in a while. And I'm still having that bill, so that somebody come out, yeah, boy, and then on the piano, and I said, excuse me, it's after 9 a.m. and I don't talk politics.
All right, guys. Good morning, caller.
Yeah.
Good morning. 3 quick points I would like to raise.
Go ahead.
The police continuously proves to me that they're incompetent. Because the 3 basic charges that you could have charged Kaia with that would have kept her in the country, you telling me you bring out them charges last? What was the first 3 charges? If you really had that evidence, that was the first 3 charges you were supposed to put on your man. It suggests to me that the police is making it up as they go along.
Yep.
Looking more and more incompetent and blunder after blunder after blunder. And the first point, Richard, you asked a very important question, because I believe, if I may be wrong, I stand to be corrected. In order for you to extradite somebody, you have to prove your case to that country. You have to bring evidence for me to prove to me that you want this person extradited. I don't think the police have a credible case to get the United States to extradite anybody with that BS that they're coming with.
Because the U.S. embassy must be watching on this case, and I mean they're not involved in an extradition process. But at least I don't know how involved in the extradition process they are. But certainly,
the only way to succeed with the extradition is racism. They want to get a West Indian person, immigrant out of the country. That's the only way they could see because they do that, not with evidence. You understand? And the last point, is there still a place called Cooley Town?
No, they don't call it.
Okay, fine. Because I was launching and I was going to start an appeal to have that name changed.
It's called St. James. It's called St. James now. Yeah.
Oh, St. James was Cooley Town. Okay, fine.
It was known as.
A problem I have with people, predominantly East Indian people, is that they believe if they refer to an African person as Creole or Negro, it is not as offensive. When it is just as it is equally the same racist term as the N-word.
All right. Thanks very much, Nikan.
It was known as a people who carried load and so on. All kind of names. When we growing up, we were hearing all those things, you know? Yeah, people who carried load on their back and thing. And there was I remember as a child growing up, there used to be a man who used to do exactly that. Pass in front of us and try to scare us as children on the main road. They used to call him Oak My Big. I don't know why I remember those things, you know. They used to call him Oak My Big. He used to just open up his eyes and try to scare us. That was his way of scaring us, opening up his eyes big, big, big.
That reminds me of the same man who used to bathe in the canal water that they used to have a name for. No, he used to watch you when you're bathing.
He used to follow soap water. He used to call him soap water Cody. He used to follow soap water and he could ask what soap water and know if it's a man or a woman bathing. Soap water Cody. He used to sit down, a little short man, he was about 4 feet something. Short.
He was a soap water expert.
Yes,
that whole Indian thing, I remember as a child, I've told this story before, driving in the car, and I remember, I've told this story before, me and my brother, and I remember my mom saying, yeah, there are a lot of Indians living in this area, and me and my brother got excited, and we got up and we were looking through mirror and looking through the side window saying, where are the Indians? Because we were a big fan of Westerns, cowboys and Indians. And our mother just said, have plenty Indians in this area. And we were excited, me and my brother, not to realize that one was driving the car. Called that.
You see, now people understand why I say that for sure it's for you, right?
Who's here first? We look for Apache.
Oh gosh.
Oh my God.
The poll is up, people. Do you have any semblance of hope in the TTPS to curb criminality in Trinidad and Tobago? 1 is yes and 2 is no. All right. Do you have any semblance of hope in the TTPS to curb criminality in Trinidad and Tobago? Our guest will be, in fact, former Commissioner Gary Griffith. He'll be coming up at 7:30. All right.
Great. All right. So we'll tell you how you voted at the end of the newscast.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on Net Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. Government officials have held high-level talks with the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, aimed at strengthening coordination on economic policy, financial stability, and banking sector reforms. Finance Minister Devendranath Tangku led the discussions alongside Central Bank Governor Larry Hawaii, Planning Minister Senator Dr. Kennedy Swaritsingh, and senior banking executives. Officials said the meeting focused on economic conditions, regulatory reforms, and ways to improve resilience within the financial sector. Tangku described the talks as the start of a more collaborative relationship between government, the central bank, and commercial banks, aimed at improving public confidence and supporting long-term economic growth. Government says similar engagements with financial stakeholders will continue in the coming months. Attorney Kristen C.J. Williams is urging the public to trust the process as investigations continue into the police-involved killing of Joshua Samaroo earlier this year. Williams, who represents Samaroo's family, said they remain confident in the Director of Public Prosecutions, Roger Gaspard, following the decision to direct manslaughter and shooting with intent charges against Samaroo's partner, Kaia Sealy. He said the family is also not ruling out the possibility that the matter could ultimately be considered an extrajudicial killing. Williams questioned what he described as unanswered issues surrounding the incident, including police radio communications, forensic evidence, and ballistic reports, while calling for clarity on exactly how Samaroo died after the January 20th shooting in St. Augustine. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service says no permission has been requested or granted for a planned protest in support of Kaia Sealy, expected to take place today outside the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. In a statement, the TTPS says the demonstration would violate regulations under the ongoing state of emergency and warned that unauthorized gatherings could result in dispersal, arrests, and prosecution. Police also cited emergency powers legislation, which prohibits actions considered prejudicial to public safety. The protest was promoted on social media by activist Alyssa Phillip, who urged supporters to gather outside the DPP's office in Port of Spain at 4 p.m. today in support of Sealy. Some pharmacists say they are receiving limited supplies of medication under the Chronic Diseases Assistance Program, despite assurances from the Ministry of Health that there is no shortage of CDAP drugs. Pharmacists report reduced quantities of medications, including sertraline, rosuvastatin, lisinopril, amlodipine, losartan, and levocarb, with some saying they are receiving only a fraction of what they order. Several pharmacists say supplies appear to be rationed nationwide to ensure all pharmacies receive stock, while others say they have had to submit supplemental orders to meet patient demand. The Ministry of Health says it has launched an investigation into possible distribution issues between NETT and private pharmacies. Pharmacists, meanwhile, are calling for upgrades to the CDAP ordering system, saying the current software does not track stock levels in real time. In crime news, Police are searching for 3 armed men who stormed a home in Point Fortin and robbed a 34-year-old man and his 89-year-old grandmother of gold jewelry and cash. Police said the bandits forced the victim back inside his home at gunpoint before stealing jewelry from both him and the elderly woman, including chains from around her neck. The suspects escaped in a waiting vehicle, and although one was later spotted near the Point Fortin market, he managed to flee before officers could arrest him. Meanwhile, police are investigating 2 separate rape reports in Freeport and Arima. In Freeport, a 33-year-old woman told officers she woke up to find a male relative allegedly assaulting her at her home on Sunday night. In Arima, another woman reported she was lured to the Mickey Trotman Savannah by a man known to her, where she was beaten, sexually assaulted, and robbed of cash. And a Northern Division police officer has been granted $200,000 bail after appearing before the Port of Spain Masters Court charged with indecent assault. Investigators allege the officer kissed a woman without her consent while both were on duty at the police administration building. The matter was adjourned to June 18th. Finally, Iran says the United States has violated the ceasefire after launching new airstrikes in southern Iran. U.S. Central Command says the strikes targeted Iranian missile sites and boats near the Strait of Hormuz, calling the operation self-defense. Iran's foreign ministry condemned the attacks as aggressive and warned that Tehran would respond. The strikes reportedly took place near Bandar Abbas, home to a key Iranian naval base along the Strait of Hormuz, a major global shipping route already affected by the conflict. The latest escalation now threatens ongoing talks aimed at extending the ceasefire reached in April after weeks of fighting involving Iran, the United States, and Israel. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says a deal is still possible, but negotiations remain difficult over Iran's nuclear program and frozen Iranian assets abroad. And that is Net Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
Please, Mr. Officer, use up your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Please, Mr. Officer, please, Mr. Officer, cool down your temper. Please, Mr. Officer, cool down your temper. All these years you overport royal under training. Now your body ain't out the road. Use up your discretion. I said, please, Mr. Officer, cool down your temper. Please, Mr. Officer, don't you shame off of me head. Time after time, citizens complaining over the radio about the citizens' brutality and only for ignorance. Please, Mr. Officer, cool down your temper. Please, Mr. Officer, don't you bother aim up on me head. Please, 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 Mr. Officer, Mr. Oh, Mr. Officer. Seam color red, seam color blue. Be careful what you do, cause the people love you, yeah. Please, Mr. Officer, cool down your temper. Please, Mr. Officer, don't you really hear my mommy? Use your discretion.
Trinidad. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show. Fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Oh, yes, indeed. Please, Mr. Officer. Everybody, welcome inside the second hour. Yes, that is where you are. The second hour. This is the Breakfast Show, and you are locked on. Yeah, good to have you here on Net Radio, New Era TT Radio, taking you above and beyond, right? Of course, the Breakfast Show, Monday to Friday, we're here from 6 a.m. Except holidays. Wendell Stephen, Richard Ragobar singing, of course, yours truly, Sir Charles. It's always a good time when we're here with you. Good morning to the Anthem crew. Yeah, those of you that come in early along the way, I got to say a very special good morning to you. And all our friends and family who are listening on Gaia Caribbean TV, good day to you also. So a little house cleaning for you, just to let you know that when we come off of the TV feed and our social media platforms as we get closer to 9 o'clock, well, you can join us at netradiott.com. That's netradiott.com. So you can listen to us all day, every day. You can also join us on all of our streaming devices. So whether you're on TuneIn, Radio Garden, Online Radio Box, Simple Radio, MyTuner, you can get us at Net Radio Trinidad, right? We are also Net Radio Trinidad on all our social media pages. So we want you to like, subscribe, and follow the pages. Especially right now, I want you all to make a trip to TikTok, and please follow our TikTok pages. I need to get some numbers up inside of there. Also, people, don't forget to hit that donate button. It's in our YouTube description. Yeah, just in that area there where you see the title. Go down inside of there, you'll see our donate button. Also on our website at netradiott.com. Yeah, there's a blue button there. You hit that button and it will show you how to donate to support us. Yeah. So our morning poll: do you have any semblance of hope, any glimmer, any iota of hope in the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service to curb criminality in Trinidad and Tobago? If you do, as some of you are, you're voting 1. If you don't, as some of you are, you're voting no, which is 2, right? So 1 for yes, 2 for no. And when we come back, we'll tell you how you voted.
Cipriani College, we are back. The box office smash Scandal in Citrus is back. We are back because you demanded it for 3 nights only. Friday the 29th and Saturday the 30th of May at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 31st at 6:30 p.m. Tickets available now at usual outlets and online. Scandal in Citrus, we are back at Cipriani College. See it again or see it for the first time. Don't miss it.
Are you taking care of your sexual health and overall well-being? At Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, we believe your confidence, wellness, and intimacy matter. Visit us at our convenient locations: 10 Carmody Street, St. Augustine, Edinburgh, Chaguanas, Shops of Daybay, 95 Circular Road, Vistabella, Docks Ranch Lightpole 51, SS Aaron Road, Penal, and Metro Hotel, Suite 1, Number 2, Knoll Street North, Couva. From relaxing massage services to professional guidance on sexual wellness, we are here to support you every step of the way. Consult with renowned sexologist, Dr. Raj Ramnanan, for expert advice tailored to your needs. Take the first step toward a healthier, more confident you. Call 285-9739 or 645-4543 to book your appointment today. Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, where wellness meets confidence.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box. Drinking out of the box.
Two Fat Fellas celebrates its final performance in San Fernando, Naparima Bowl.
One night, one show, Saturday, May 30th, night of the holiday.
Two Fat Fellas stars, Cecilia, Penny, Kevin, Zachary, Rachel, and Rody.
The ridiculously funny comedy is at Naparima Bowl for one final night.
Tickets available at Dormont Shoe Store, Long Circular Mall, Anthony's Floral Val Park, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, C3 Center, Athletes by the Park, Southern Food Basket, Coffee Street, and Point Fortin. Naparima Bowl box office opens on Thursday, the 28th of May. Also online at islandtickets.com. For more info, text or call 683-0356 or 683-4843.
Check out our early bird special online at Island E-Tickets. Two Fat Fellas.
It's the Grand Clearance Sale at Fats International Styles. Everything must go. All clothing, only $100. Sneakers, just $200. Yes, you heard right. Massive deals, unbeatable prices while stocks last. Visit Fats International Styles Arima opposite Castro's restaurant. Don't miss your chance to grab the hottest styles at crazy clearance prices. Hurry in today because once it's gone, it's gone.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back.
Indeed, welcome back. But we want to speed through this because we know we have Gary coming up in 7 to 10 minutes time. So our poll is still up. Do you have any semblance of hope in the TTPS to curb criminality in Trinidad and Tobago? I'll just quickly read for you the today's Express editorial, which referred to those comments made by the Prime Minister. And it says, PM's response falls short. Responding to a question from the newspaper about the public police arrest warrants against Kaia Sealy, whose common-law husband Joshua Samaroo was killed by police officers in January, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar offered two quotes, one inappropriate, the other politically obtuse. The first was, the most evil among us always expect the rest of us to live by morals that they don't possess themselves. The subtext of the Prime Minister Persad-Bissessar's quote is that, in her mind, she has already decided on Miss Sealy's fate. As an experienced politician, Persad-Bissessar knows better than to pronounce even indirectly on issues that will come before the court. Having done so, she may have now handed Sealy's defense team a possible weapon. The Prime Minister's political calculations may also be off. Persad-Bissessar's second quote was, people sleep peaceably in their beds at night only because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. End quote. The subtext here is that the action taken by the officers and police killings generally are justified in the Prime Minister's mind. The court sends a message to the police, now operating with essentially untrammeled powers under the state of emergency, that the current administration may take no steps to rein them in. This is quite irresponsible coming from the country's head policymaker. But if Persad-Bissessar requires a self-interested reason to walk back her statement, it is her likely misreading of the public mood. Her error is to assume that most citizens view all police killings as justified. This is certainly the case in a lot of of the time. When, for example, the police killed 4 home invaders in a shootout 3 weeks ago, nearly everyone commended the officers involved. That was because the police caught the men in the act, because home invaders are known to deliberately terrify their victims. The Samaroo killing is different. The camera footage showed Samaroo apparently surrendering and the officers shooting him nonetheless, while Sealy was critically wounded and later reported to be partly paralyzed. This is sufficient evidence for many people. The police investigators have offered a different version of events that will be tested in court, but whatever the outcome, it is safe to say that a significant proportion of citizens will not change their interpretation of what they saw on the video. And that's just part of the Express editorial. You know?
Yeah.
The Prime Minister, folks, I told you all before, I don't think the Prime Minister is the one responsible for some of these releases there. I told you all that. You all said, oh, no. And then, of course, Richard said, well, she has to take credit because
she has to take responsibility for it.
Yeah, and because she's not denying it.
Yeah.
But maybe she is okay with it, but that's not coming from her. And I have a fair idea. I know who it's coming from. I told you all this last time, but I can't reveal it. I don't have court clothes again. I stopped wearing jacket and tie and thing.
All right. Any comments? People, we could take 1 or 2 of your calls very quickly on the poll. Right? Remember, this series where we talk about the poll. So if you would like to tell us if you voted yes or no, if you didn't vote it, but you have a comment on it, now's a good time for you to tell us. Right, before we get into our Let's Talk segment with our guests. We just have a couple minutes. Any comments on the chat about the poll, or they're chatting all different kinds of things?
Yeah, they're chatting all different kinds of things. But I mean, a lot of people are. I don't know how the police could reverse the thoughts of Trinidadians right now. They had to bring Kaia to come and say, yes, I apologize, I was guilty. I had a gun, I shoot at them, and they shoot me. Yeah, we did. Kaia to come and literally say that. Right. And then that's still ain't changing. The shooting of the 3 young men in town, the shooting of the officer going up the steps the time, the killing in Tobago, that ain't gonna change that. But at least you see this one, when people see that video, and now hearing all this stupidness and these charges, all of a sudden, more charges coming, all you're doing is driving people against you. But guess what? I don't think they care. I don't think this commissioner cares. And some officers, I'm sure a lot of officers care, and a lot of retired officers care. But guess what? They won't say much. They won't say much. Very few will come out publicly and condemn it. Very few.
Well, that is the thing about it. Just calculating your vote. So this is how you voted this morning. Caller, good morning to you.
So Charles, morning. Wendell, morning.
Morning, Tabity.
So, yes, I voted. Of course, we see what the police, the TTPS is showing to the public that they don't care, and whatever they do, all of it take. And people not taking that anymore. So some people don't have hope like me. I mean, I want to, but the things they do, I think the action, they always say actions speak louder than words. Mm-hmm. So the actions are indeed making us feel that there is no hope, right? And you know what? I just want to say one thing briefly on the editorial. You know those words that the Prime Minister echoed there? I heard, I think it's the Attorney General from the some country saying those same things. Those same words.
Yeah, Christine Noem used those words.
Oh my gosh, she better she pack up and go in Europe and live in North America with the orange head man, yes? Go on.
Yeah. All right, Wendell, so that's how the poll came. Now, you want to get any final results on the poll, and then we get into our Let's Talk segment.
Do you have any semblance of hope in the TTPS to curb criminality in Trinidad and Tobago? 11% of you said yes, 89% said no. I am with the 89% this morning. Of course, well, I mean, I don't even have a vote. You all know how I think about it, right? Under this current commissioner and the current leadership of the TTPS, it'll be a no for me. I have more hope in Junior Benjamin. Sorry he didn't get a little longer to try to make a difference, mainly because of his character and how he thinks. Sorry he didn't get a little more chance, but I have no hope in Mr. Guevara. Sorry. None. Absolutely none.
All right. Well, our guest is very much on time, so let's get into our Let's Talk segment.
Yeah. All right. Good morning, Mr. Griffith.
Hi. Good morning, sir.
All right. Thanks
Good
for
morning,
joining us
sir.
again. You're no stranger to this show, but I mean, every time we think we speak with you, we think it couldn't get worse. It gets worse. Every time we reach out, because you're the only former commissioner of police who is willing to talk, who makes himself available to the media. So I guess a lot of the media houses would be tapping on your experiences back then, and of course your knowledge in general. But you care to answer our poll? Do you have any semblance of hope in the TTPS fixing criminality in Trinidad and Tobago?
Yep, I'm going to go with the yes. I'm sorry, but I would go with the yes. And because the semblance of hope is not the 7,500 officers, the semblance of hope is who is appointed as security minister and commissioner. I always go back, gentlemen. Just a few years ago, the public trust and confidence in the police was the highest of every arm in the public sector, 60%. These were the same 7,500 police officers, give or take a couple hundred. So you can't tell me that these officers are all bad officers. It has to do with leadership. So you see that name you just called there, Mr. Man, that Benjamin, I could give you the assurance, had Benjamin remained, you would have been seeing that 60%. I saw the difference. You saw his personality, his style, his humility, his proactivity, his willing to apologize when he did if something is wrong on behalf of the police. Not this guy. This guy has. I always say the most dangerous thing is to give an ignorant person authority. He's not going to speak to the media. He blocks people. He speaks in a very condescending tone, and by and large, nothing. I was hoping that he would have been successful. When it is you take a middle management person who can't come in the top 20 or 30 to go up for the most senior post after that. So that's like a clerk one applying to be clerk two. You couldn't come in the top 30, but they make you the CEO. You're going to get these results. So it is no fault of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. It is the hierarchy that is causing that 89% to vote that way.
So then our question should have added under the current leadership then.
Yes.
Okay. No
that
problem.
I would have gone with no.
I accept that because I still think we are hopeless under this current leadership. I think if we go everybody knows how I think. But Gary, in all honesty, what are your thoughts about what you've seen coming out of this particular matter? Let's just deal with this matter of Kaia Sealy and Joshua Samaroo and the different stories you're hearing on it now, and how the TTPS coming up. Well, today you saw 4 more charges to be slapped on her because they forget that she would have had to be charged for ammunition if she charged for using a gun, right? They forget that. So they now fix that. But what are your thoughts about all this? Have you seen this before?
Yeah, well, remember, when I was commissioner, I had the exact situation with the Mova shooting. My style was totally different because you remember, people who are upset with me always be willing to be prepared to defend my police officers. When they had the Sea Lot situation, I went to the front line. I was prepared to take the first bullet to protect a constable. I will jealously guard and defend the police service and police officers if wrongfully accused. But I was also the first one to bust your throat if they did the wrong thing. And in this and in the Mova shooting, all 18 I suspended immediately. I didn't stick. And it is not an indication of guilt, but that is international best practice. The hypocrisy of Guevara to say initially, that's when the ball started, gentlemen. It started with him saying, well, I see nothing wrong for any action to be taken on these officers. That alone shows a person who spent 26 or 27 years in a little office in special branch and didn't understand best practice. So by him saying that immediately, he already came in a judgment, which was totally incorrect. Whether it is they were guilty or not, excessive use of force or not. He said, I saw no reason. The Police Welfare Association, like a puppet, foolishly said the same thing. And then, so when you continued with that, the DPP, a lot of people are criticizing the DPP. I have worked with him as commissioner and security minister and security advisor. I can assure you that man cannot be influenced, he cannot be pressured, he cannot be politicized. However, a DPP gets info. He has to work. He's not an investigating officer. He's not on a fact-finding mission. He's not here to read the room to make a judgment and a comment that will please the public. He has to make a decision based on what is given to him. So if what is given to him, he makes that choice. And there is when the problem starts kicking in. Because speaking to defense attorneys and others, this young lady, for 6 days in the hospital, she was never told that she was on a charge. She was never told that she was in possession of a weapon. She was never told that we found you with a firearm. That alone raises a red flag. Then 3 months after, it was only in April, they called her and her attorney and said, oh, by the way, we found a weapon in the vehicle. That is madness. Because if that was the case and she submitted the statement to the DPP, it could very well be that her statement did not provide a defense to rubbish or to question the allegations by the 3 police officers. So it meant that the DPP would have received a file of statements that will all be similar by these 3 officers stating that she had a gun, she fired the gun, and blah, blah, blah. And she now would not have been able to rubbish it because she didn't even know those are the accusations made about her. Those are questions that have to be answered. And I am not here in any way. The last thing I will do is to make comments to further cause the public trust and confidence in the police service to be probably less than 5% as it is now. But all that I'm saying is for it to be clarified, you need a commissioner of police to be able to explain these things. Explain why, for example, that you did not inform her that you found her with a firearm for 6 days. Why did you release her? Why did you not tell her about it after 3 months? Why did you not incarcerate her? People are being locked up because of how you look, because of allegations and suspicion, because of a SOE. Somebody shot at 3 police officers and you will let them off? Why did you allow her to leave the country? Why, when you look at the situation, the police officers, when you look at minimum use of force, there was an officer who, after clearing his weapon, whether it was a stoppage or round of ammunition in his automatic weapon, he slung it over him. There was a lull, and then several seconds later, he drew his sidearm. That is excessive use of force, regardless of what happened. You have to explain that. You have to explain, if it is you stated that the lady was the target. If she was the target, it means the police officer should have been aiming at her. The information we have is that out of the 23 shots that connected, Mr. Samaroo got 19 and she got 4. So it means that these 3 individuals, either it is a lie or they are the worst persons that could go on a range. It means that if they have a bazooka on Woodford Square, they will miss the Red House. That you're telling me that you're aiming at a lady and 19 shots hit the victim whose hand was in the air. And then after you start speaking about, well, we have an informant who said that she had a Glock in her bra. I thought it was Miss Sealy that was next to Samaroo. I didn't know it was Dolly Parton, because I've never heard about a Glock being hidden in a bra of all places. So all of these things would cause a lot of questions to be answered. You need to answer. If it is, again, basic protocol, if it is that you know that the person fired the weapon, that weapon is supposed to be sealed. You're supposed to get fingerprints and then ask her for fingerprints to show that the fingerprints that she has will be similar to what is on the weapon. If it is that you claim that she fired and you found gunshot residue, why did you test her hand for gunshot residue to verify that the gunshot residue was on her hand to show that she fired a weapon? So all of these questions need to be answered. And if it is not being answered, you go right back that people are going to voice their concern. This year, my final point on that matter is that you have people protesting and in an arrogant, obnoxious manner to feel like people stupid. You have the audacity to state, well, under the state of emergency, we have authority to disperse you in the based on national security threat. National security threat, you've seen a little girl with about 4 feet high leading a silent protest, and you see that as a threat. You wouldn't want to. So what about the air supply concert with 10,000 people, or the Ashanti concert or Carnival? None of that was a national security threat for you to disperse the crowd. But 100 people. But you know why? You know why? Because it is the first time in our history that people have converged outside the police admin building to demand the resignation of the police commissioner. So this is about ego and being thin-skinned, rather than just being humble and approach. People want to talk about myself. Perfect example. I had an exact situation with Black Lives Matter, and hundreds said they were going to gather outside the U.S. Embassy. I could have done the same thing under threat to national security. I did not. I laid police officers on the running track, made sure that they didn't go across to the U.S. Embassy, and I went across there myself to meet with hundreds of them to give them the assurance that the TTPS would not do what we saw in the United States. Let Guevara play man. He's supposed to go there and speak to the public, speak to those people who are concerned, give them the assurance that this matter will be dealt with in a professional manner. No, you're going to shut it down to the outside the DPP's office because you name police and you want to show what police can do. Those things is what erodes public confidence and trust.
But Gary, at the end of the day, a forensic report would have had to be produced to go to the DPP to convince him that, listen, there's gunshot residue on this young lady's hand. We found a gun. You would have had a photograph of the gun. You would have been able to prove that it was recently fired and that you have the spent shells. You found it. The bullets were lodged in the fence across the road or in the back somewhere of the car, because apparently she turned around and was shooting at the officer who said he saw her pointing the gun at him, the one who went to the back of the car. You would have had to prove all that. We are seeing cases in the court now where the DPP is losing matters because of these types of botched investigations and botched things. Why would a DPP agree in a matter like this that clearly the video is there for everybody to see?
I'll explain why. So, as I said, DPP has to work on what information is given to him. Notice, the police there's a new manipulation taking place now by certain people. There's a video that was being shown, Wendell, and you know the bad police voice. Clear, calm, well-spoken, rough, arrogant, bad police. And this man has the audacity to question the intelligence of the country by saying, and if you look now, you will see that the glass and the fragmentation is coming outside. That's bad police lying. Because if it is, you do anybody that you could call Jerry Goodrich, you could call Nairi Alfonso, Luke Hadid, Brent Thomas. I, as commissioner, went to many crime scenes. And persons shooting at a vehicle, the fragmentation will also go out as it will also go in. So but the GPP doesn't have a ballistic expert in his office. So if the police who are supposed to be the experts say, look what you're seeing here. You're seeing the fragmentation coming out. The DPP is going to accept that for what it is. He doesn't have a ballistic expert in his office. And then, as I said, with these accusations, if you didn't tell the suspect that you are being accused for this, and she puts a statement without stating that I am going to rubbish your accusation, the DPP has to work on this. And that is where it is. You have to understand the situation that the DPP is in. He could only work on the information that is provided for him. And that is why, when he will have probably made a decision to charge, it goes to court. The victim now, or the suspect, is now going to be able to come forward with the actual evidence that was not provided to them because probably of deliberate involvement. So you didn't, as I said, you didn't tell the person, you didn't explain to her. And I have to go right back to what has caused all of this. The Police Service Commission has been silent. I challenge any of you all, if you know who's the chairman of the Police Service Commission, some of you all, you feel when Blissy Prasad was chairman, people didn't know, when Judith Jones was chairman, every month, the Police Service Commission will be at the forefront, trying to explain, trying to clarify, trying to calm down the public on certain matters of national concern. We have a state of emergency where your commissioner of police that you appointed, who couldn't even come in the top 20 in his promotion from superintendent to senior super, you made him commissioner. And his 3-point crime plan is a SOE by a SOE. And you have not been able to explain to the public, this is what is happening. You have not been able to explain to the public why after a year, a commissioner of police has not come up with one new unit, technology, system, policy, program, anything to reduce crime, which is why the Prime Minister is left with no choice for a state of emergency. You have a Police Service Commission that have not explained to the public why after a year, you have a commissioner that has refused, and I'm using the word refused, to implement body cameras. Because as I said, the comments he made that the body cameras I had were false and misleading. I asked it, type GTEC and Axon. Those 1,200 body cameras, the majority were body cameras used by most police departments. And the man had the audacity to be so clueless to say, well, we can't use it because you could turn it on and turn it off. That is what you're supposed to do. You're so clueless because the body cameras, if somebody is leaving a station and going to a location to start their duty, and it's about 45-minute drive, turn through, you've got to save battery life. If a child has been sexually molested, you have to turn it off. If a woman involved in domestic violence, you have to turn it off. If there's a confidential informant giving information at the crime scene. But this man, all right, so you don't want to use what I have for whatever reason, and we know what it is, but you have not acquired one body camera. Had those officers put the body cameras on, and that's what I had. I had a standard operational procedure. Every roadblock patrol, warrant, investigation, or operation, you had to put on the body camera. You have shut that down, given excuses not to use it, and you have refused to implement one body camera. That, again, the Police Service Commission has not said a word. So when people speaking about Guevara resigning, he didn't put himself there, just like earlier. It is the Police Service Commission that should resign.
And Gary,
I want to find out.
let me just finish this point, Sir Charles. Let me just finish this point, right? And then I'll let you. Gary, it is bordering on the ridiculous now in terms of the pettiness that's coming out from the people in our high office. Because I'm reading today in the newspaper about the Homeland Security Minister saying if a former commissioner didn't spend money on a hockey field, and where are we going with this?
Well, remember, Roger Alexander never kicked a line. It shows his stupidity and ignorance and understanding. Sport is a critical element towards. Listen, Roger Alexander, all my senior officers didn't want Roger Alexander promoted. They wanted him out of a TV show to be able to expose his stupidity. I had to hide him to keep him in a talk show. The man had two speeds, dead slow and stop. When I put him in charge of SWAT to try to see what I could do to make life easy for him, for the 6 months in SWAT, whereas Mark Hernandez was dealing with putting an end to kidnapping, home invasion, extortion, SWAT didn't even arrest one person for a traffic ticket. The man was so lost. So when he's speaking about that, he doesn't understand sport and community policing and development for young persons to have an area to train and so forth. It plays a big part towards crime reduction. That facility was to provide people in the area to be able to come in a safe environment, to be able to play sport, to be able to train. But Roger Alexander, look at how he is. So when you have a minister like that, clueless as they come, he will make those comments, because this is the same Roger Alexander that will make a foolish comment to state, when this matter took place, he wanted to have a law to state that we should charge people. We should charge people if it is they use their own personal CCTV to show things that the police may have done wrong. That alone shows the incompetence of this man. He has made Fitzgerald Hines look like James Bond. Nobody thought that Fitzgerald Hines somebody will actually be worse than him. Roger Alexander has proven to be totally clueless, dumb, and incompetent, and those are the positives I see of Roger Alexander.
All right, I want to find out because with what we are seeing and the public's perception, I have of the quality of this investigation and police investigating their own and what is being presented to the DPP. And then we have the other side of it where we are waiting on is the PCA to try to probably do some sort of balancing act. What are your expectations and what should be happening right now with the PCA?
Well, again, the unfortunate thing is the Police Complaint Authority has been totally sidelined by this new police administration, and it again shows why the laws must be changed. I could not have changed it as commissioner, but what I did is every single thing that David West asked for, I provided. I saw at no time he could ever say that the police would not come being able to work and support the PCA. So he said, look, we want to ensure that every time there's a police shooting, we want full access to get within the crime scene, which was never done before. I approved it. He then made a request and said, every time there's a police shooting, we want to be informed immediately. I did that. He asked for us to meet with them once a month to be able to look for outstanding files that were being hidden and sidelined. I did that. Not anymore. And if you don't have a commissioner that is going to be accommodating to the PCA, what has to happen is that we have to get the PCA to have the same powers similar to the Internal Affairs in the United States. They must have some type of investigatory body in the Police Complaint Authority that will allow them not just to investigate and recommend, but to investigate and charge. And if that is not done, the PCA becomes totally irrelevant. It's a toothless bulldog, and it is not going to serve any purpose. I want to just quickly go back, just quickly about the thing with the hockey turf. This shows back. Now remember, when it says you have a commissioner who had a budget to see about $1,000 in special branch, and then you give him $3 billion. You have another person who's now a minister. He had a budget of about $100 in beyond the tape, and now he has $6 billion. When they don't understand financial management, that hockey turf cost the taxpayers about $1 million. The one in Takri was $10 million. That turf was going. We got persons to do advertisements along with billboards that was going to give about $200,000 a month to Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. So after 1 year, we would have made 2 times the amount of the cost of the turf, whilst at the same time allowing children from St. Anne's, Belmont, Port of Spain, Diego Martin, Caranage to be able to come and play sport in a safe environment. But instead, the clowns there decided to charge people $700 an hour. That's why the turf has been totally useless, totally mismanaged. And Minister David Nackett could verify the value of an AstroTurf like that. That is used not just to development of sport, but to develop young persons to be able to train in a safe environment. So for a minister to make a comment like that, it shows how clueless and dumb he is.
Well, Gary,
Gary, I just wanted to ask two questions. Wendell would have read the Trinidad and Tobago Express editorial this morning, and one of the important points or the theme of that editorial was who is going to rein in the police if the Prime Minister is making certain comments that seems on the basis of interpreting what she has said, because she's not very clear outright, but she says things that seems to suggest that the TTPS has her full support to be as rough as they need to be in terms of dealing with the criminal element. So I think the substance of the Trinidad and Tobago Express article is who's there to rein them in, especially in a time of unbridled power under an SOE. One, do you have a concern about what the Express said in terms of the Prime Minister relinquishing, it seems, or a ceding power to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service in the SOE and giving them that kind of power that we see manifesting itself in certain incidents? So do you agree with that, and do you think that she should be much more concerned? And two, I take your point about the Police Service Commission, that they have been strangely silent and non-committal in the entire scenario that is concerning so many Trinidadians and Tobagonians, whether here or in the diaspora. And it's befuddling that they have said nothing. And you're right. You don't even know who's the head of the Police Service Commission at this point.
He's a Wendell, though.
Yeah, he's a Wendell. But again, is there a senior person in the Police Service Commission that was the batch of Guevara? And because there's a close affiliation, and if that is the case, that individual who was a police constable or whoever, he should recuse himself from any matters pertaining to Guevara. But it goes right back, gentlemen, to the new process. That is when, as your boy Keith Rowley and company decided to change the process for the selection of the commissioner. That's what has caused the problem now, When it was the previous thing was international experts who cannot be intimidated or influenced, who are qualified. When I got my 82% and Brain Gibbs won as well, it was international experts. So no PNM or UNC people could influence anybody in there. They changed it to have the Police Service Commission do so 50% is multiple choice, psychometric testing, mock media conference, that can be padded. And then 50% is the Police Service Commission interviewing you. How do you think Ola Christopher won? Somebody who couldn't come in the top 20 by international experts could now come first. That is because the Police Service Commission will give her 49 out of 50 and give everybody else 10. That is the same thing with Guevara. If you can't come in the top 20 from superintendent to senior soup, how you could come number one for a position that has persons who applied as senior soup who beat an assessment plus ACP plus DCP? It makes no sense. But that is where the system has to go back. Other than that, we will continue to get Erlas and Guevaras, and we will not get Benjamins. As it pertains to what you said, Richard, and again with Wendell, the Prime Minister did not state that. That is something that was put on behalf of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister doesn't go on websites and try to plagiarize and get comments from other people. Every time you listen to certain comments, the Prime Minister about kill them all violently and the things about the Mother's Day, about stating that any female who didn't make a child is not a good mother. Remember that Mother's Day statement. And then one on Independence Day about attacking Google and attacking Facebook and saying they are the demons. That is not Kamala Prasad, so that's somebody writing on behalf of Van Pomset. Granted, Richard, I
tell them that and they doubt me, guys. Yeah, Richard, I tell them that and they doubt me.
I was the right. Kamala went abroad about 68 times from 2010 to 2015. I went with her probably about 58 times. Nobody knows Kamala Prasad. I was her right hand. I was there with her security advisor, security minister, and neck and side by side during the local government. I can assure you, because the same Kamala Prasad, if the media calls her now, you're going to see a totally different person. That is not her personality. And I'm not here, she's not split personality. But remember, there are people that will write and draft things that will not be, and then unfortunately, if it is put with her name, she now has to toe the line and continue. The comment made, it is me as Prime Minister, I'll be very careful to make comments if it is that suppose the mark bus and you realize that these persons, the police officers were wrong in their actions, it's gonna be egg on your face. So you have to be very, very careful how it is done. But it is not about the Prime Minister's view. It is the Police Service Commission. They have day by right, based on Guerrero's action or inaction, and you can't come up with one crime plan, not one unit, one system, one technology. The reason why a commissioner will ask for SOE is because you have failed to be able to secure the country based on what is provided for you. The reason a commissioner and a minister will ask for 2,300 more police officers is because you have failed to secure the country based on what is presently there, based on the establishment. These were the same number of police officers that we had. It was the highest reduction in serious crime in 31 years under Kamala Persad-Bissessar as Prime Minister. So I with the same problems with gangs. So let's not get fooled. When it is you hear people begging for more police officers and SOE, it's because the commissioner does not know how to secure the country. That is an indication of failure. That is the towel being thrown in. And the Police Service Commission, instead of pulling them in, instead of demanding, you have failed to provide the body cameras. You have caused public confidence to move from 60% to less than 5%. Any developed country, he would be removed. But the Police Service Commission is silent.
I just want to find out from you, Gary, because I think the public's anger with all of this and what the police is probably trying to say with the shooting there is we don't know what was happening before. But at the end of it all, we saw what is happening at the end. And if somebody is surrendering, as people would have seen, they expect the police at that point in time to not shoot to kill somebody. And then we are hearing chase and all different kinds of stuff. And the only thing that the public has seen so far is that piece of video. What has been happening, all coming down the road and all those other things? Where are our public surveillances and that is supposed to be all on the highway, those CCTV cameras and things? Why is it that we can't see anything from those things?
Well, again, we have 17,000 odd cameras. Again, it shows the stupidity of people who are holding positions of authority. You bring a man who's walking around with a walkie-talkie. That is Johnny Abraham. The man is walking around with a walkie-talkie and said, I know to use a National Operations Center because I used to use a walkie-talkie in the 80s to talk to my troops. And now they've changed it to a National Operation and Dispatch Center. That shows incompetence at the highest level. This is a $500 million state-of-the-art system that is it's not a police dispatch system. This is supposed to assist us in traffic congestion. When last have you seen a police officer trying to deal with clearing traffic? Not one, because the NOC is not being used for that. It's supposed to be used for floods, natural or man-made disasters, joint operations with the Defense Force, with customs, intelligence gathering. But you put Johnny Abraham to walk around with a walkie-talkie that looked like something in World War II. And those 17,000 cameras are supposed to have that feed. And with that now, you're supposed to have police vehicles with GPS tracking staying in the area of responsibility. You have the police in one police plaza. That is what they have. They have their thing for police, and then that is supposed to be used to ensure an ambulance could get to someone's home in 5 minutes. That fire service could be there in 5 minutes. They have turned a $500 million National Operations Center that was recommended by the Commission of Inquiry after the attempted coup, that is supposed to deal with all aspects, whether it's health epidemic, whether it's an education problem.
But is it still functioning at any level at all?
A dinosaur and Johnny Abraham with walking around with a World War II walkie-talkie. They changed it to the National Operation and Dispatch Center, and it's because remember I said Roger Alexander is not the sharpest tool in the shed. He doesn't know. He knows anything. The only thing he knows about is policing, and because of that, notice the comment he made. How could any prime minister would have fired? You are in charge and responsible for immigration, and you refer to them as rotten to the core without one shred of evidence, not one name called, not one witness, not one person arrested. You can't come and bad talk Rowley and Hines for firearms when you have done the same thing. You have attacked and demonized every single immigration officer. You know why? Because he's still a police and he doesn't understand you can't be responsible for an organization and tell him they're rotten to the core because he still thinks and acts as if he's a police officer. That is what happened when you bring a junior middle management person that was responsible for $100 a month or whatever to be in charge of $6 billion, and therein lies the problem. So and again, Sir Charles, what you just spoke about, Guerrero's comment initially saying all they don't know what happened 5 minutes before, that shows his ignorance in understanding minimum use of force and law enforcement. If this couple And again, I'm not saying that they are saints, because for you to be running, chasing away from the police, something had to be wrong. Something involved in. That's my view. But if they had whether it is they use hand grenades and whatever at police officers, that cannot justify your shooting someone unless it is only at the specific time that when we would get there, you have to see what's happening. So somebody could have been shooting police, kill 5 police officers, heaven forbid. And then when you corner this person and their hands in the air, you cannot shoot them. So when it is you have a commissioner saying, oh, you don't know what happened before that, that alone is a reason for any developed country to remove that commissioner. And let me add a quick point, gentlemen, that has not been discussed. It is something that I started doing as commissioner, where frontline police officers, whether it is GB, IATF, Task Force, the Guardian Emergency Branch, all of these units, the frontline units, they must have been, I wanted to ensure that every one of them must be trained in basic first aid. We don't have that. And if, again, in international best practice, because I twinned with the NYPD, which is not being used again. And what happens is that every police officer must have basic first aid, especially as it pertains to shooting, to save the life of your fellow officer if shot, or that of a victim. We don't see that in Trinidad and Tobago. There's one drill that police officers do. When they get shot, hold you by your pants and your jersey and pelt in the back of the trunk like a dog, and then throw the other person on top. That is something that has to change, because that could very well cause the death of the person, because the young lady who was shot, again, gunshot wounds were conducive more of someone who was crouching under a dashboard, because it is claimed that she was shot in her back. You can't be, she's not Linda Blair in The Exorcist, where she could turn around and be aiming a gun and get shot in her back. So all of that, if it is that she was shot and it was not life-threatening, they should have kept her there and have her remain in a position until the ambulance turns up. Because if you have a back injury or something and you move the person the wrong way, that can cause serious permanent spinal damage. They pick up the girl and pelt her like a dog. And the same thing with Mr. Samaroo. They threw her on top of him. Suppose that would have caused more compression of the gunshot. All of that, in any developed country, the police service would have been sued for bad judgment and how they dealt with the persons after being injured. And it is another avenue that has to be dealt with.
Then maybe that is to come, But one thing before we go, Gary, they talked about this police chase from Maloney to St. Augustine. I'm reading today where the police are saying several attempts were made to intercept the car. Gary, we've seen no footage of this. We've had no evidence that did in fact take place. Maybe it did, and maybe somebody has footage of it somewhere out there that has not been released.
I think that's what Sir Charles was referencing earlier. That where was the footage? Where was the footage of what happened before? Because we haven't seen it. So I mean, who knows? And of course, a citizenry that's jaded is going to say, "Well, we're not seeing it because it doesn't add any value to your narrative."
Exactly, and gentlemen, that is my point on this whole matter. I am not here to say that the police officers lie. They may very well be correct in everything they say. What is required is for the commissioner to have done exactly what you said. Have a press conference, show the vehicle in hot pursuit, have video footage to show that you're hearing the gunshot from inside the vehicle, explain why it is a police officer will still draw his firearm several seconds after the shooting ended, why it is these police officers played the Rambo. It's only in a Rambo movie I would have seen the incompetence of these officers. When you're under hostile fire, you don't come out in wide open as if it is the charge of the light brigade and in no way try to protect yourself. All of those things require questions to be answered. And a perfect example is, again, remember there was a carnage shooting, Wendell, where it was claimed that the police officers shot a girl and killed a girl. I had a press conference. I did the drawing, showed where the gang members were, where the police vehicle was at the corner of so-and-so street, and where the girl was shot, showing that if the police officers were in this area, it meant they would have been shooting up the hill in Carnage, and it meant that the persons were shooting down, and the bullet went past the police officer and hit the young lady. And that meant that person, if he was held, would be charged now for the same manslaughter because he was responsible for her death. That is what the commission is supposed to do, not block media people on WhatsApp, not refuse to speak to people. That, again, as I said, the most dangerous thing is to give ignorant people authority.
Gary, one last question, because I know we're going to break now for news. You brought up the issue of how they throw them in the back of the truck and then throw her on top of him and whatever. I never understood that. And I've brought it up several times on this show. Why is there any, it's when there's a police shooting or there's an exchange of gunfire and people are injured, why is it that the ambulance services are not called to deal with the injury and properly transport an injured person who is innocent until proven guilty in whatever has taken place? Why do we continuously see people being thrown in the back of SUVs or in the back of pickups to be transported to the hospital? Why isn't it that it is police policy and well, it should be state policy that you have to call an ambulance and the ambulance has to be there?
Yeah, correct. So there'll be one exception to that, and that is where it is. It cannot happen if all the officers are not trained in first aid. So they wouldn't know. So they know their drill is to pick up the people and pelt them in the back of the pickup or the back of the tray. And that is incorrect. Now, there may be certain circumstances where the ambulance is going to arrive in 15 minutes or 10 minutes and the person is bleeding in a manner that he is going to die. That the police vehicle can now be used as an avenue to get that person to a first aid facility. So those are the special circumstances, but that could only happen if the officers are trained in first aid. So the officers are supposed to be trained and realize, okay, that Ms. Samaroo, it is not a life-threatening injury. She should have remained there. By them picking up and holding her and whatever could have probably caused her spinal injury. And that is the point. If there's no training, they will know that. They know one drill, pick up the person, pelt them in the trunk. And let me quickly add, it gets even worse when the person has died, and then after the vehicle pulls up, you put the dead body in the vehicle, and the stupidity with you blazing sirens and blue light to take a dead body to forensic, as if they're trying to recover the body or they feel that the evidence is going to disappear. I put an end to that. That stupidity has started again. So you're rushing all around the savannah to take a dead body back to the forensic center. So again, it all has to do with...
that one blows my mind every time I see it. That blows my mind.
Because what happens, we don't have a national operations center that monitors vehicles. If they abuse the authority, they use the blue light and the siren. Because you have a dinosaur with a walkie-talkie saying that my job is to dispatch. The national operations center is to monitor if a vehicle is going 80 miles an hour on Rice Road, 4 p.m. on a Friday. We didn't send you on a dispatch call. We know that, hey, you're just using your siren to break the red light. That's why everywhere you see now, every unmarked vehicle, every other unmarked vehicle is a red light or a blue light or a siren pushing you aside, and it is not a distress call.
Yeah, Gary, thanks so much for chatting with us as always. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
I'm reading a comment here from somebody though, just to end, and I didn't see this before, and I didn't think of this before. Therefore, Miss TT Love says, maybe they thought Kaia was dead. Maybe they didn't cater for her being alive.
Well, that shows the poor training in first aid. You have to test the person and make sure that we go. I don't think because they rushed her, they took them to the hospital. They didn't take them to because usually when the person is when it's dead, they wait until the coroner arrives. When the person is alive, they pelt them in the back of the truck like if they're stuck pig or something, and just rush them to the hospital without properly, because even at Mr. Samaroo, they could have probably compressed his wound. A police officer is supposed to be in the back compressing the wound, whatever, making sure that nothing like that is done. Throw him in the back and throw her on top of him. That can cause the problem to intensify.
Yeah.
Maybe something.
Right.
Gary, thanks so much as always, as I said.
Yeah, thanks, Gary.
My pleasure. Take care.
Yeah. Thanks. I just don't know what to say again or do again with this TTPS. I don't know how to think. I just don't know how to think. I just wish them luck with whatever they're doing, yes? And I wish the good ones really at some point in time one day get the belly to stand up and say, no, this enough is enough. Let's get this thing fixed.
People stay with us. We will be back in a short.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on Net Radio and Guile TV. I am Derek McMillan. Thank you for joining us. Government officials have held high-level talks with the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, aimed at strengthening coordination on economic policy, financial stability, and banking sector reforms. Finance Minister Devendranath Thakur led the discussions alongside Central Bank Governor Larry Hawaii, Planning Minister Senator Dr. Kennedy Swarutsingh, and senior banking executives. Officials said the meeting focused on economic conditions, regulatory reforms, and ways to improve resilience within the financial sector. Thakur described the talks as the start of a more collaborative relationship between government, the central bank, and commercial banks, aimed at improving public confidence and supporting long-term economic growth. Government says similar engagements with financial stakeholders will continue in the coming months. Attorney Kristen C.J. Williams is urging the public to trust the process as investigations continue into the police-involved killing of Joshua Samaroo earlier this year. Williams, who represents Samaroo's family, said they remain confident in the Director of Public Prosecutions Roger Gaspard following the decision to direct manslaughter and shooting with intent charges against Samaroo's partner, Kaia Sealy. He said the family is also not ruling out the possibility that the matter could ultimately be considered an extrajudicial killing. Williams questioned what he described as unanswered issues surrounding the incident, including police radio communications, forensic evidence, and ballistic reports, while calling for clarity on exactly how Samaroo died after the January 20th shooting in St. Augustine. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service says no permission has been requested or granted for a planned protest in support of Kaia Sealy, expected to take place today outside the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. In a statement, the TTPS says the demonstration would violate regulations under the ongoing state of emergency and warned that unauthorized gatherings could result in dispersal, arrests, and prosecution. Police also cited emergency powers legislation, which prohibits actions considered prejudicial to public safety. The protest was promoted on social media by activist Alyssa Phillip, who urged supporters to gather outside the DPP's office in Port of Spain at 4 p.m. today in support of Sealy. Some pharmacists say they are receiving limited supplies of medication under the Chronic Diseases Assistance Program, despite assurances from the Ministry of Health that there is no shortage of CDAP drugs. Pharmacists report reduced quantities of medications, including sertraline, rosuvastatin, lisinopril, amlodipine, losartan, and levocarb, with some saying they are receiving only a fraction of what they order. Several pharmacists say supplies appear to be rationed nationwide to ensure all pharmacies receive stock, while others say they have had to submit supplemental orders to meet patient demand. The Ministry of Health says it has launched an investigation into possible distribution issues between NETT and private pharmacies. Pharmacists, meanwhile, are calling for upgrades to the CDAP ordering system, saying the current software does not track stock levels in real time. In crime news, police are searching for 3 armed men who stormed a home in Point Fortin and robbed a 34-year-old man and his 89-year-old grandmother of gold jewelry and cash. Police said the bandits forced the victim back inside his home at gunpoint before stealing jewelry from both him and the elderly woman, including chains from around her neck. The suspects escaped in a waiting vehicle, and although one was later spotted near the Point Fortin market, he managed to flee before officers could arrest him. Meanwhile, police are investigating 2 separate rape reports in Freeport and Arima. In Freeport, a 33-year-old woman told officers she woke up to find a male relative allegedly assaulting her at her home on Sunday night. In Arima, another woman reported she was lured to the Mickey Trotman Savannah by a man known to her, where she was beaten, sexually assaulted, and robbed of cash. And a Northern Division police officer has been granted $200,000 bail after appearing before the Port of Spain Masters Court charged with indecent assault. Investigators allege the officer kissed a woman without her consent while both were on duty at the police administration building. The matter was adjourned to June 18th. Finally, Iran says the United States has violated the ceasefire after launching new airstrikes in southern Iran. U.S. Central Command says the strikes targeted Iranian missile sites and boats near the Strait of Hormuz, calling the operations self-defense. Iran's foreign ministry condemned the attacks as aggressive and warned that Tehran would respond. The strikes reportedly took place near Bandar Abbas, home to a key Iranian naval base along the Strait of Hormuz, a major global shipping route already affected by the conflict. The latest escalation now threatens ongoing talks aimed at extending the ceasefire reached in April after weeks of fighting involving Iran, the United States, and Israel. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says a deal is still possible, but negotiations remain difficult over Iran's nuclear program and frozen Iranian assets abroad. And that is Net Radio News at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
Scandal in
Cipriani College, we are back. The box office smash Scandal in Citrus is back. We are back because you demanded it for 3 nights only. Friday the 29th and Saturday the 30th of May at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 31st at 6:30 p.m. Tickets available now at usual outlets and online. Scandal in Citrus, we are back at Cipriani College. See it again or see it for the first time. Don't miss it.
Scandal in Citrus.
Are you taking care of your sexual health and overall well-being? At Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, we believe your confidence, wellness, and intimacy matter. Visit us at our convenient locations: 10 Carmody Street, St. Augustine, Edinburgh, Chaguanas, Shops of Daybay, 95 Circular Road, Vistabella, Docks Ranch Lightpole 51, SS Aaron Road, Pinal, and Metro Hotel, Suite 1, Number 2, Knoll Street North, Couva. From relaxing massage services to professional guidance on sexual wellness, we are here to support you every step of the way. Consult with renowned sexologist Dr. Raj Ramnanan for expert advice tailored to your needs. Take the first step toward a healthier, more confident you. Call 285-9739 or 645-4543 to book your appointment today. Total Image and Dr. Raj Adult Boutique, where wellness meets confidence.
S&H Rum Box, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rum Box, drinking out of the box.
Two Fat Fellas celebrates its final performance in San Fernando, Naparima Bowl.
One night, one show, Saturday, May 30th, night of the holiday.
Two Fat Fellas stars, Cecilia, Kenny, Kevon, Zachary, Rachel, and Rhodey.
The ridiculously funny comedy is at Naparima Bowl for one final night.
Tickets available at Dormont Shoe Store, Long Circular Mall, Anthony's Floral Val Park, K-Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, Brentwood Plaza, C3 Center, Athletes by the Park, Southern Food Basket, Coffee Street, and Point Fortin. Naparima Bowl box office opens on Thursday the 28th of May. Also online at islandetickets.com. For more info, text or call 683-0356 or 683-4843.
Check out our early bird special online at Island E-Tickets. Two Fat Fellas.
It's the Grand Clearance Sale at Fats International Styles. Everything must go. All clothing, only $100. Sneakers, just $200. Yes, you heard right. Massive deals, unbeatable prices while stocks last. Visit Fats International Styles Arima opposite Castro's restaurant. Don't miss your chance to grab the hottest styles at crazy clearance prices. Hurry in today because once it's gone, it's gone.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Okay, so we are back. Of course, it is just 20 minutes past the hour, 8 o'clock. Yeah, we're happy to be here with you on the breakfast show. Just to remind you people that there is a rerun of the breakfast show, but not on Gaia. Okay, you have to get it on our website. So you have to come across to netradiott.com and you'll be able to listen. Right? You could listen back to it. You can view it right now, but you can listen back to it a little later on. That's from 4 o'clock.
So, Charles, I just want to quickly, on behalf of the Breakfast Show, apologize to Minister Roger Alexander. I think Gary would have described him as dumb. I think somewhere along the line. We want to apologize for the use of that word, right? You could call him other things, but you know me, I'm not into the derogatory names. And I think he was referred to as dumb, you know. That speaks to something else. So, Minister Alexander, we apologize on behalf of the Breakfast Show, right? For letting that slip. Right? I just thought about it and I say, hey, you know, let me deal with this one time, you know. So, you know what I mean? I don't. He's a lot of things, but you know, we shouldn't refer to him as dumb.
Yeah. Even though you may not like or agree, you know, you try to keep it as professional as you can.
Yeah, but I mean, the context though of Minister Alexander raising the issue of the hockey field, I mean, that means you're just trying to attack Gary now. Because that hockey field was never an issue. It isn't an issue then, it's an issue all these years now. Why it coming up now as him spending money on that hockey field? What Gary did with that barracks there in a short space of time was excellent work.
Yeah,
excellent work in transforming the way that barracks look.
Yeah. I'm sure the Gary said police officers would have benefited from it too, because you know, when you're not on duty and stuff, you can come out there and
but it's not just for the police, Gary. Sir Charles, it's for the community. St. James Barracks was always known as somewhere you go and watch hockey, or you watch a small goal, or you do something. You have a little charm. The schools in the area would have the family day and so on. By there, it was always a ground that was heavily used, you know. And Gary would have spent and transformed that area in terms of modernizing it and making it safer for people. So I didn't understand when Minister Alexander raised that. I said, but why are you raising this? This is not even an issue. You're just trying to find a way to attack Gary. You know what I mean?
You don't have to tit for that. But I was talking about it in because yes, I know it's a community ground, but I was just saying that some of those very said police officers also would have benefited, because like when you're not on duty, you know, or you come in early, I think so you can go there and take a little sweat, you know.
And they do it.
Yeah. Which is very healthy for a lot of them. You know?
Yeah, some of them need to be out there and have feel whole day. No not stomach, some of them are.
God. And you know, you ever had some dogs attack you?
Dogs attack me.
Yeah, have dogs ever rushed you?
Richard dog attacked me.
Richard dog?
Richard dog. He had a dog named Johan. I think it was the dog name. He had a fancy name for the dog. One big grey dog. I think it was a Dalmatian or Weimaraner or someone of them fancy rich dog that rich people like Richard have. And a day I went to help him pressure wash his yard. You know me, I'm always generous and helping people. So I go on and I walk. Richard tell me come in the yard. Next thing you know, this big dog bolting around the side of the yard. Well, that dog was going to get one pressure washer in the backside that day.
So I guess Richard held him.
Well, Richard had properly trained dogs. So I think he called out it. Yeah. He called out it and the dog stopped. But one pressure washer that dog would have get that day.
Well, let me show you something here I saw yesterday.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah?
Oh, Lord.
I find that so funny.
And he was just walking up road. When I looked at it, just let me show you something. He picked up the dog by the leg to defend himself.
I find that so funny.
He had to use one of these very sad dogs to defend himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember they say, I mean, I remember people don't like to say potong, yeah, but these normal breed dogs.
Potong, nice potong.
You know,
the potong must be snapping at your foot, so.
I remember there was a night I was coming out of Cookery, coming down the hill now. We got a partner at a bar, and we used to go there like on a Friday and play music and lime and that sort of thing, you know. And coming down the hill, I was about 11 o'clock the night. I know going home, coming down the hill. One dog come, two dogs, and all of a sudden, I don't know where all these other dogs come out from. And that situation there brought that whole back to me there. I had to be scrambling down the hill, finding myself all in the grass, grabbing at all kind of stone and all kind of thing to pull down, you know. Dig up all my hand. I mean, they didn't bite me, but you know, but at the same time, I mean, to fend them off. When Potong attacked,
Potong. If that was any other dog, if that was any other type of dog, well, I'm sorry for you, because there's about 6 dogs there.
Yeah.
You know, but I like the fact that he grabbed up one of them by the hind legs and swinging it to stop the others. I find that very funny.
Yeah.
He's a brave fella, though.
Yeah. And as you rested on, he's coming back at you. Yes, but like, I had a bad experience there. I got. Yeah, people, we can take a couple of calls before we get out of this session this morning here. 281-1315-299-5156. Hey, look, Mr. Grant, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. I was getting you when you called it next. Right?
Mr. Grant, we barely hearing you.
Anyhow, things are so nice for the right down in this one. What you say, I didn't hear so. Why come and why do I remember?
Mr. Grant, I don't know what's wrong with your phone this morning.
Yeah, the connection is not very good.
Yeah, that is something yesterday. But yeah, no,
yeah, but you're coming across distant, like you're speaking on a speakerphone.
Well, I understand.
Yeah. But no,
so, well, we hope your wife gets better. I think you're saying that she's still at the Arima Hospital. We hope that she gets better.
And listen, the young boy was disappeared. They have time.
Yeah.
He used to come by he come to me like I was saying, invite me to his wedding, and he just mash up. And he come with a Spanish girl, and I warn him, I said, but
oh Lord.
And it's that way happening. He said he was extorting money from him, and he went and make a report. And he disappeared. I know to find him at age 6 to 7 years now. And he was a nice young fella boy. Right?
Yeah, okay. No, I hope everything works out with your wife soon, Mr. Grant. Yeah.
I find Mr. Grant and Mr. Patrick should line because they sound like they will get along.
Oh, you're right about that. Let me hear your reasoning.
They're very knowledgeable now. They're both very knowledgeable about a lot.
All right.
Richard, did you see the documentary about the dogs?
No, I didn't see it.
You can't watch your phone while you're driving, huh?
No, I can't. That technology is not here yet. I'm waiting for it anxiously when the car will drive itself and I could be the back seat.
I thought you tell me to have that kind of car already.
Not in Trinidad.
I'll get one now.
You can imagine me the back seat of a car driving by itself in Trinidad.
Boy,
police officer will be confused.
I can't even be in the front seat and somebody drives me comfortably. I'm a terrible co-pilot.
Yeah, because you've been driving yourself for so long.
Yeah, I'm terrible at people driving me.
Yeah, so.
But you always seem so comfortable when I'm driving, Wendell.
True, you ever drive me? I'm always picking you up.
Hold on, Mr. Rima, hold on. Yeah. Mr. Rima, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning again.
We need a holiday for housewives too. We have a new holiday now, I think it's Eid al-Lahor or something like that. We need a housewife holiday too. Thank you.
Housewife holiday, I support that. Richard and I strongly support that.
A housewife holiday.
Yes.
Why you not into that?
Yeah.
Any holiday people want, we strongly support.
Yeah, what's everybody getting it?
Yeah.
But these days, the way that also that mostly women working and mostly men home say, but how to get a houseman holiday. A houseman.
Yeah, because you're so right, Sir Charles. There are so many women who are now the providers and the men who.
For years I've been watching that, Richard. Before I remember when I started doing the mid morning when I was at 1 or 2, and myself and Lisa Sargent and stuff, and with Dr. Springer and those kinds of programs, we used to get a lot of women calling in. But after a certain time, it changed, and the mid morning was a lot of men was calling in.
Like men who coming home from the overnight shift,
who not working.
No, they went and sleep.
The women,
yeah,
that is why you have so many incidents in relationships now, because the women controlling their own money.
What incident in relationship is have such as?
Who is the boss?
Well, look who talking. But look who talking, Sir Charles.
Like, yeah, I know what incident I'm talking about. Who's the boss?
Hello, for the last 20 odd years, I have lived in Arima and worked in town. So I was always out. I was always away from home. Always away from home.
Yeah, but that thing, in all honesty, that has shifted. But we have a caller there. Caller, good morning.
Good morning again, y'all. You know, I had some time on my hand this morning, so I decided to listen to Gary Griffith. I don't normally listen when you all have him anyway, and any program anyway. But you know, when one of the things I disagreed with, or I agreed a lot of things he said, but one of the things he said when you agreeing with that is that the Prime Minister writes, not that we know she doesn't write her own speech, but if somebody writes your speech, somebody writes something for you, and you are reading it to the public as coming from you, the layman will think that is the Prime Minister's words.
No, she doesn't be reading those things to the public. Those things are being released to the public. She's never read those things, you know.
But it is still in her name.
Right, she said, no, we ain't denying that, you know. She sends it out. Or it is sent out on her behalf.
Yeah, she takes ownership.
It says out on her behalf, yes, but does she deny anything that is said in that release?
No, she doesn't.
That means she's in agreement with it. So in other words, not me, I can understand what you all are saying. Some people who may not understand will say, is that what the Prime Minister say? Because I read the editorial this morning before you read it. And I say in my mind, the editorial is saying exactly what I have been saying all along with this Prime Minister. She uses, or whoever writes for her, using a lot of violent language when she had to talk things, right? The editorial had it done packed. So when you girls say that, you know, people write for everybody, right? I'm sure somebody writes for Dr. Rowley too. And
everybody writes for something.
Nobody don't write for Dr. Rowley.
Well, okay, but good. But you take credit for it because you never denied those words. This is the important part. You don't deny the words that were said. And that's why I have a problem with. I know better, but she doesn't, you know, so she agrees with it. You all have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
I think what the Prime Minister has done is engage someone because she wants to come across a certain way. She has engaged someone to do these things for her, and so she's okay with it. But clearly she wants to come across as some strong, powerful Kamala 2.0. I take enough nonsense last time. I ain't taking it again. I'm supporting this. I want to try to change this. She clearly has decided that's the way she want to go. So she'll be okay with whatever the person release.
Well, the thing about it is that regardless of what, I think some of those things are always passed by the Prime Minister first. I don't think nobody puts out a release on behalf of the Prime Minister just like that without she's reading it or say, yeah, go ahead. You know, post that.
Possibly,
yeah, we could
possibly, yeah.
You know, Caller, good morning.
The fact of the matter is she takes ownership of it.
Yeah.
And so we have to take that. That's your sentiment. That's what you think.
Yeah. Because it is quoted in all the newspapers or wherever it is, as the Prime Minister said. You know? So
yeah.
Yeah. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to Wendell. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Sir
Good
Charles.
morning.
Yeah. You know, is the most disheartening thing about all this? Up to now, the police commissioner or the prime minister, nobody ain't coming out to say this was a aberration. This police officers didn't follow protocol. This is not standard operating procedure. So we have to get into the matter of this and see why they deviate from the norm or the practice or whatever. Nobody is saying that. But they double down on it. And every day, they rather to put all the institutions of the state and in disrepute every day, because they compromise the DPP office, the commissioner office, the prime minister, then now it's going like the forensic, and they rather destroy all the institutions. Rather than to say, the police officers on duty, they didn't follow standard procedure, they didn't follow protocol, but they're doubling down and making this thing go. I don't know the integrity of the officers and things there. Maybe well-intended officers, because that's not an easy job dealing with criminals who are armed and killing people and shooting people. We don't know what the situation. But what we saw there is that cannot be standard police procedure or practice or international best standard. And every day they're making me look like a banana. I apologize to bananas. We're looking like a third world or fourth world country.
They have to apologize to third world now.
Yeah, right? In other words, this is an aberration. That is not standard policing procedure. That is not our practice. They deviate from the protocol, and we are going to why such a thing occurred. But every day they're doubling down and putting all the institutions and state and in disrepute.
And when you say they, caller, you're talking about what? When you're talking about they, talking about the commissioner of police, right?
Yeah, but everybody who interjecting this matter, like the prime minister make a statement, the up to now they didn't say this. What happened there? What we saw in the video is not standard operating procedure, I think, for the police. They deviate from the practice and so on. And what they're doubling down and trying to cover up and putting all so people have to question the forensic people, they have to question the DPP, they have to question the integrity of the prime, and putting all the institutions and things into disrepute instead of saying, listen, the officer and them didn't follow standard procedure and we had to investigate this, look into this, right? Yeah. So let's say the lady, when they do the forensic thing, the lady had died, right? And the forensics show that she died from a head as a result of the accident. She died. What would happen? I said the bullet didn't kill her.
That would have been the end of that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would have been the end of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thanks very much, caller. If anything, we check back in.
But this is not the first time we see in these kind of incidents, But it's always captured by some camera that they didn't cater for. The incident in Mova, the incident downtown, all those things are captured by a camera, either a CCTV or someone's phone that they didn't cater for. Mm-hmm. But so let's face it, this is not the first time that an incident like that. Only as I reminded you all the other day, the incident happened January 20th. The police commissioner came to us a few hours later and said there was an incident with a car chase where there was a shootout and the young man was killed and the woman was transferred to the hospital. That's what he came to us and said. And then 3 days later on January 23rd, the video of the incident came out. That's when all hell broke loose, And they would have spent 4 months trying to figure out how to deal with this, how to fix this, and they're fixing it now. They're fixing it now.
Okay, hold on a minute there. Wendell, caller, good morning to you. Caller? Okay, why am I not hearing the caller?
Must you miss Mr. Grant again?
No. It's Robert. Robert, are you there with us?
Which Robert?
Aline.
Aline.
Yeah, I have Robert engaged. Okay. Robert, you might have to call me back because you're not hearing me. No, he's not hearing me. I saw clear that line. Yeah. I don't know what really went on there with that line, but this is the same line I'm using here right now. Caller, good morning.
Blessed good morning to you, Sir Charles, Richard, and Wendell. It is no when the shit hit the fan, it started to smell, so they had to cover it up. I keep telling you to cover up that.
Suzanne,
so much it is actually smelling. It's smelling right now.
Suzanne.
Yes, sir.
What's your language?
My bad.
Please.
Sorry. It's really when you hit the fan.
You can say crap. When the crap hit the fan.
You understand?
Yeah.
When the feet started hit the fan, it's not the sun.
Yeah.
My apology to that, Sir Charles.
No problem.
But about it, the TTPS, not all the officers, it have good officers in the TTPS. But because they have the few that are corrupt, it filter. It comes just like a bag of apples. They leave one day, and from the time one spoil, it just filtrate the rest. It's just sad. And that is one. Two, and as I say this, and I will keep saying it, Sir Charles, I know when you're bringing Mr. Fields on the program, Father Association, to do a highlight on the men, because we approaching Father's Day, to do a highlight on the program itself, to see what's going on with all these things that are going on with men, especially those fathers who pay in child support and they still can't get to see their children. And it's really, really sad. I just don't know why. And then 3, the PM, you keep you quiet, you're not saying nothing. Everything is just like, it's like, what really going on? Who really running in the country? They say so many things about Dr. Rowley and the PNM. Every Monday morning is something. If this was under the PNM, you would never hear the ending story of that. It's
Hines must go. Furler must go.
You understand? Yeah. It's one thing after the next. Is never ending story until baby boy, may his soul rest in peace. It's sad what went on in Tobago, but the mother should be charged because I find something adding up with that whole scene. Something adding up.
Yeah,
so
maybe
like
I see investigation
going on.
We have to wait for the investigation to
something
go
adding up with that scene. But anyway, gentlemen, you all have a blessed day and a blessed one.
Okay, no problem.
Amazingly, they say that these charges will be conferred on Kaia when she returns to Trinidad and Tobago. I just started laughing.
Come back when? When she come for a carnival?
Kaia fighting for her health and her life right now.
So they're not seeking extradition? Is that what they say? They're just waiting casually whenever she come back?
Well, that's what the article says, eh? That's what the article says, when she returns to Trinidad and Tobago. I just started laughing.
But if she's a U.S. citizen, she doesn't have to return.
Exactly.
And furthermore, if you're so convinced that your evidence is robust, which apparently the DPP agrees that your evidence is robust to properly charge in the first place, then so be it.
Interpol.
I thought I was what was up there. That was what I was ordering. Yeah.
Caller, good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. Wendell, Richard, and
morning, Robert.
Morning, Robert. Yeah, I want to apologize openly to Mr. Victor Philip because when he talked about when Mr. Griffith was on the station making his comments, and Wendell, you yourself made an apology to the minister as well. What happened? I was looking at it from a different angle, and I made a comment. It wasn't anything defamating anybody, but I made a comment
on the chat.
It wasn't a bad comment, but it was more supporting what the speech that Gary Griffith was saying. But I made it to Mr. Victor Phillips. I want to openly apologize to him as well, because we on this program we want to keep it clean. While everybody may have their views and their likes and their dislikes, we also have to be mindful of the radio station, that you all have certain rules and regulations that we must adhere to, even though we're trying to get a comment across. So once again, I want to personally apologize to Mr. Victor Phillips, although I did not make a derogatory comment, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
But I was more in support of what Gary said, because I said something about the level of hypocrisy in this country. People like to hear lies and innuendos. But however, I do apologize, gentlemen, right? So I'm listening.
Okay.
Thanks, Robert. I'm actually reading the comment now. There's absolutely nothing wrong with your comment, actually.
Yeah.
I'm seeing
But
it now.
you felt that way in between, you know. And sometimes, as I said, we all need to self-regulate. We can't just get reckless. You just can't say the first thing that just come out your mind. Sometimes you have to think a little bit. All right. Virginia.
Morning, German.
Center in front.
You want to confuse the man.
Hey, I must say that Deputy Commissioner Junior Benjamin, and I have to include Captain Griffith. I'll always call him Captain because he earned that rank through Sandhurst, one of the best military institutions. But I must say that I would still consider them officers and gentlemen. Maybe Gary might be a bit, could be a bit hard in his sentiments and the way he put across stuff, right? But at the same time, at least they can articulate clearly, right, what is not just should be standard operating procedures, but also by international standards. And I must say, Wendell, that, well, all you guys, that when Gary was in charge, and I'm sure Mr. Benjamin too, but Gary was in charge of Captain Griffith, that somehow the police personnel service seemed to take pride in wearing that uniform and put it on every day, and the way they carry themselves, that has been going through the window and has been lost, and it's so sad. And lastly, I know he used the term to describe the Minister of National Security, Roger Alexander, but I mean, oh my Lord, boy, he has a way with words when he said that he made Fitzgerald Hines look like James Bond. Oh my gosh, God! And it was when they said, and then when he said that she was accused, the lady who was shot, of having a Glock in her chest, and he said, it's Dolly Parton was in the back seat, and But anyway, look, guys, have a good day, okay? God bless.
Because you have a big space in that bra to fit a Glock.
Yes. The size of the cup have to be very large.
Yeah.
So.
And Kaia was a little tiny mite. I mean, that don't mean that she don't have a big bra. She didn't, but I mean, I don't know. But Gary referred to Dolly Parton.
Like those, there's some people that's going to the supermarket with underpants with all kind of pocket and all kind of thing when they go in and shoplift now.
I don't know that, Sir Charles.
Yeah, but you see them in these videos when they catch them by the supermarket, they go in the people aisle and they're taking up all the can of this and that and putting it under the dress and all kind of thing.
I just joking.
Yeah, remember there was a calypso on that, right? She tipped the whole box of chicken chest and put it under she chest. So maybe something like that. Yeah.
But Gary's tenure as police commissioner wasn't by any means perfect. But Lord knows it was 10 times better than any other time as a commissioner. If you're honest, it was 10 times better than any other time as a commissioner. It wasn't perfect. He made mistakes. It had rogue issues underneath him. I mean, we had issues where he called people cockroaches. We didn't like that. We condemned it. You know what I mean? But it was still 10 times better than any other time. And I don't know that we will ever get back there with this commissioner.
At all. All right, guys. Well, we're leaving it there for today. As we get
you're running us off here today.
Apparently, so. But if you want to de-stress from life in Trinidad and Tobago in general, there is theater on this weekend, and it's called Scandal in Cedrus. Yeah. And it's on Friday at 8:30, Saturday at 8:30, and Sunday at 6:30 at Cipriani College, where you can forget the politics, forget all of the issues, and for 2 hours, just devote yourself to laughter. And of course, laughter is the best medicine that you can get. So, that's what's on this weekend. And the box office at Cipriani College is open every day this week from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. So you can get your tickets there. You can also get your tickets at K-Squared Fashions in West Mall, East Gates and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas, Jabili Rawi in Tudapuna, Electronics in Arima, Shafle Auto Services in Shafle, and Anthony's Florals in Val Park Shopping Plaza, which is just beneath the Val Park Chinese restaurant. So you can't miss it. That's where you can get your tickets. So, as I said, Cipriani College is open from 12 noon to 6 p.m. And I know lots of people have been going there to get their tickets, and tickets have been selling at all outlets. So get your tickets early. I kid you not. Since this show has been running, it has been phenomenal. So we're on this weekend. Do not miss it. Of course, new NETT Radio Trinidad goes on. It goes on throughout the rest of the day. You can listen to it on new NETT Radio Trinidad on your smart devices. Say, play NETT Radio Trinidad on TuneIn, and you're good to go. And of course, you can also watch it on NetRadioTT.com. NetRadioTT.com. That's it. NetRadioTT.com. On the net, and then you can listen to the excellent programming throughout the day. And this Wednesday, we're midweek already, believe it or not. Believe it or not. So have a fantastic day, people. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
All right. PNM invite me to something earlier. I get invited to the Balize Crew Curry and Cards line, and that's happening to this Indian arrival day coming up down at the PNM Central Regional Office. So Harper, we going down there and play some cards, some all fours on Saturday. Okay, Curry and Cards line. All right. I get finally
offices.
That's the central office.
Where that is?
Enterprise Main Road and Chrissy Terrace.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from 2 o'clock Saturday. Come down now. PNM will be glad to see you.
PNM glad to see me. You know, yes, you're saying PNM glad to see me in the same sentence.
They'll be glad to see Wendell because they know they think Wendell turn UNC.
Yes, they think across the floor. I'll go in that line. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll go in on it. Me and Appa going on and play some.
You're going for spite.
I'm going for spite.
Yeah, well, remember the PNM have a history of treating UNC people like royalty, you know. So
it's true, so Charles, you're right. They might give me a crown.
Yes, they might know how to treat you good. Go across the floor and come back. yeah. Just like you might get better treatment than the man from Chagonas.
Yes, it's true. I'll go in that line though, Saturday. God willing. Anyway, folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember, Scorpion Pepper, what are the matrix to support that statement? I guess you mean my support of Gary. All what Gary does be saying he do and achieve. Really and truly, he ain't lying. I mean, it has come across like I.
Boastful, but a lot of it.
But he ain't lying about it, you know. Trust me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
a lot of people whether you like Gary or not, a lot of people liked him as commissioner of police.
Yeah. Yes, he was a good commissioner of police. He wasn't perfect, but he was a good commissioner. Anyway, folks, bye-bye. I'll see you tomorrow, please the Lord. Tomorrow our guest will be Kurt Allen of Tuco, contesting the Tuco presidency. Real Bacchanal Atman in Tuco.
Calypso in trouble.
Oh Lord, real Bacchanal Atman. But Kurt Allen will be our guest tomorrow, and who knows who else we could come up with. Yeah. All right, we're working on getting Kaia Sealy to be our guest. All right, we're going to be working on that. All right, so have faith.
I wish you luck.
I'm going up to the States to look for her.
Go all out, man. You go all out. Right? No problem.
You gotta wish us luck. This is the breakfast show, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. We make things happen.
All right. Okay. Cool. No problem.
All right, guys. This has been
The Breakfast Show.
Get up. It's the time to start the day. The Breakfast Show is here. We bring in the soca way. Yeah.
show, got the vibes turned up.